And we are live. Let's see. Who have we got today? Let's see. Hello, Jake. Hello, Fatima. Hello, Pranav says, and we are live. Come on, come on. Neve says, yep, just a few seconds whilst Matt logs on. Here we go. Guys, let me know. Can you hear me? We should be up. Hey, there we go. I think it took a few more moments than expected. Yes, beautiful. Hello, Oli MT. Hello, Vampire Sight. Hello, Logesh. Hello, Aaron. Hello, Jake. Hello, Goose Boy. Hello, Holly Nee. Hello, Oli. Hello, Fatima. Hello, Jay, Yuko, Pranav, Goose Boy, Adam Osmani. Guys, just guys, I'm just gonna be 1 second. I gotta get the door. Hey, there we go. And we're back. Hello, Kyra. Hello, Neve. Hello, Alina. Hello, Tix. Hello, Kuba, Sechia. Okay, guys, let's see. I'm just going to have a quick look. Is it TikTok up and running? There we go. It certainly looks like it is. Thank you very much. There we go. Marco, Sienna. There we go. There we go. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I had to run and get the door right at the start. Oh, let me turn the music down before it gets flagged. Okay, there we go. There we go. Come on. Hello, Ali. Hello, Jess. Hello, Mustafa. Hello, Lizzie. Lots of people asking which paper it is today. It is the EdXL June 2022 Paper 2 Higher Tier. Speed runs and tricks. Come on. Hello, Zach. Oli MT says W in the chat. Let's get it, guys. Let's get a little bit of W's in the chat. Hello, Zion says Wagwan. Hello, Imani. Logesh says W. Yoko says W. Come on. Beautiful, guys. It is officially 2 days. 2 days until our paper 2. Guys, we're out here putting in the work. We're going to be starting in just a couple of minutes. Welcome to anybody who is new. The format is simple. I'll give you a little bit of time to do each of the questions, and then I'll go through each of them. The more marks it's worth, the more time I'm going to give you. You can see that I have put the link to the Spotify in the chat over on the YouTube. So guys, a lot of people have been requesting the music that I'm listening to during the stream. It's a little bit of an Afro beats playlist, energy for days. So if you want to listen along, click that link. It's going to take you through to the playlist. Give it a follow or a like or whatever you do on Spotify, and you'll be able to listen along. Or if you don't have Spotify, anybody, maybe I can make a song list or something. Hello, Josh. Hello, Yellow Yeti. Said, good luck, all you year 11s. Very nice. Tick says, can you do the thug shake, please? I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what that is. I do not even know what that is. Hello, Wahilo. Zen says, please shout me out. I'm a big fan. Shout out, Zen. Okay, guys, 1 minute and we're going to get going. You'll be very pleased to know there should be no sneezing today. And also, low key, look at my voice. My voice is back. I woke up yesterday. I basically had no voice. You couldn't really tell on the streams, but yesterday I woke up, no voice. The day before I woke up, no voice. I was sneezing, all of these different things. And my voice just came back by the time of the stream. Guys, I went to the pharmacy today and I stocked up on every hay fever thing you can imagine. Man's got eye drops, nasal spray, hay fever tablets, also some throat lozenges, specifically for when you're talking too much. And guys, it worked. Low key, it worked. So if you're out there struggling with hay fever, mine was peak. Mine was seriously peak. Um, Consider doing the full Monty and just getting like the the eye drops, the nasal spray, the hay fever tablets. Allevia's very good. Um, and yeah, maybe it will sort you out. Maybe it will sort you out. Hopefully. And that's coming from somebody who's against all like medication and these kind of things, only if you absolutely have to. But if you struggle with hay fever, you know what it's like, guys. You know what it's like. No, no, TNM said Allevia gang. Okay, guys, 5 past. Let's get going. We've got a good paper today. Let's see what we can do. Question number 1. Drop your answer in the chat. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Simplify x to the power of 3 to the power of 5. What do we reckon? Logesh says x to the 15. Tyler says the same thing. Purple star as well. Emily as well. Star as well. Is it x to the 15? Yes, it is. Our answer is going to be x to 15. X to the power of 15, I should say. And why is it x to the power of 15? Well, when we have a base to a power and we raise it to another power, we have to multiply those powers together. So here we do the 3 times the 5 gives us 15. Next up, 1b, expand and simplify. And I'm not going to read it out because it will partially give away how to do it. But guys, give this a go. Drop your answer in the chat for me. Hassan says, yo, what paper is this, please? This, my friend, is the June 2022 paper 2. I might have to turn the music down a bit. I'm getting a bit overexcited. Okay, Alina's got an answer. So is Simon Nowak. So is Star Vampire Sight. Adam Osmani. Oh, Adam, I replied to your email, by the way, but I don't think it's sent. The long and short of it is I've refunded it. So there you go. Okay, let's have a luck 1b. What's it going to be? Expand and simplify 4 times by x plus 3 plus 7 times by 4 minus 2x. What are we going to do? Step number 1, we're going to expand those brackets. So we're going to do 4 times by x, which is 4x. And then we're going to do 4 times by 3, which is 12. Next up, we're going to do 7 times by 4, which is 28, followed by 7 times by minus 2x. That is going to be minus 4x. Next up, what are we going to do? We're going to collect our like terms. 12 plus 28, well, that's going to be 40. And then 4x minus 14x. You could do this on the calculator if you wanted to. 4 minus 14, it's going to give you 10. So it's minus 10x as our answer there. 40 minus 10x, we expanded and we simplified. Next up, 1c, factorize fully 15x cubed plus 3x squared y. Again, guys, drop your answer in the chat. Not going to give you too long for this one. What do we reckon? Simon's got an answer. Mamsy's got an answer. Jeslyn as well. Just going to check everything smooth on the TikTok. Yeah, beautiful. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Okay. Jay's got an answer. Kiara's got an answer. Let's have a look. Factorize fully 15x to the power of 3 plus 3x squared y. Guys, what are we going to do? Well, what does this mean? It means the opposite to expanding. This time we need to put it into brackets. What do we put on the outside of the brackets? Well, we're going to find all of the common factors of both of our terms. So what number goes into 15 and also 3? It would be 3. And can we put any letters in there? Well, we have x cubed in the first one and x squared y in the second one. Here we're going to have a common x squared between them, but y isn't in both of them. And we can't put the x cubed because we only have x squared in the second term. Now we need to say, okay, what do I times by 3x squared to get 15x cubed? Well, I'm going to times it by 5, because 3 times 5 is 15. And then I'm going to times it by x because x squared times x is going to give us the x cubed. Next up, what do I times it by to get 3x squared y? Well, we already have the 3x squared, so we just need to times by y. Guys, good job if you got that one. We're going to move on now to question number 2. 2 marks up for grabs in this one. It says describe fully the single transformation that maps S onto T. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this one, guys. 2 minutes. and then I'm going to go through it. Drop your answer in the chat when you have one. In the meantime, I'm going to have a quick look at the chat. Thank you to all the moderators today. Thank you, Lincoln New. Thank you, Charlotte26. Thank you, anybody else who's on here as well. The saves from all moderators is final. I know there was a dodgy moderator on the TikTok yesterday. Someone who was a moderator like 2 years ago. They were sending some silly messages to people and like trying to mess it up, basically. That person has been removed, obviously. And hopefully it won't happen again. Hopefully it won't happen again. They've been blocked from the account and removed as a moderator and all this stuff. Okay, question number 2. I can see a few answers going in the chat. We have translation by vector 5 minus 6. Somebody else has said minus 6, 5. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to choose the same point on both of our shapes, and we're going to see how we get from the shape or the point on S to the point on T. Now, the first thing to mention is that this is going to be a translation. We can see that the direction of the shape hasn't changed. It's not flipped around. It's not rotated. So it's going to be a translation. So that's going to get us 1 mark. And then for the second mark, we need to know what the vector is. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left. So 5 units to the left. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units up. So 6 units up. What's the vector going to be for a movement of 5 units to the left and 6 units up? Well, we're going to write a minus 5 on the top and a 6 on the bottom. Why? Because the top number tells us our X movement and the bottom number tells us our Y movement. Positive number on the top means we go to the right, negative number means we go to the left, and on the bottom, positive number means we go up, and negative number means we go down. Now, I know a couple of people are saying that this topic's already come up in their paper 1. The reason that I went through it anyway, even if it's already come up for you, is because there's different people from different exam boards watching. So we're just going to do the thing which is best for everybody. And you can just kind of either go ahead if a topic came up for you, or you can do the question anyway. It's still good practice. Question 3. The length of a football pitch is 90 meters. Correct to the nearest meter. Complete the error interval for the length of the football pitch. What do we think, team? What do we think? Thank you, Lincoln, you for holding it down, my friend. Yoko says 89 and 90.5. So does Jay. So does Alina and Logesh and Adam. Guys, if you said 89.5 and 90.5, you're absolutely right. So what does this actually mean? It means what could this number have been before it was rounded? So we're going to need the smallest number that would round up to 90 and the biggest number that would round down to 90. So what we say is this. We say that 90 to the nearest meter. Actually, let me just draw it like this quickly. So we're going to have a little number line. We have 90. We have 91. And we have 89. And then we're going to go halfway between each of them. So we're going to have 89.5 and 90.5. Now, the reason that we include the 90.5 and we don't say 90.499999, even though 90.5 would actually round up, is because we don't have the or equal to here. If that description didn't make sense for you, make sure to revise this topic, because I don't want to go into too much detail on it now because I know a lot of people know it, but that's kind of the basic logic to it. Okay, question number 4. We have 4 marks up for grabs in this one. I gotta be honest, guys, this is quite nice for a 4 marker. I'm always out here saying questions are tricky, but I would say this one's actually quite nice, quite nice. If you're aiming for a grade 6 or higher, you want to be getting 4 out of 4 on this one. I'm going to give about 3 minutes to do this, and then I'll go through it. I'll tell you what, Has9, I see what you just put in the chat. I learned yesterday what that word means. Now, of all of your guys like Gen Z or whatever the generation is, like slang words and stuff, I thought I was getting pretty fluent, you know? Like I was learning, the lingo. But then that word came up, GOON, and I had no idea what it meant. So I think I said it at one point. And yeah, I regret that. I regret that. Question 4, guys. Let's get going. What are we going to do? Drop your answer in the chat when you have one. Ali says, "Oh no." Yeah, Mohammed says, "Yeah, not a good word." Alina says, "Lol." Guys, I got done dirty. I can't lie, and I had no idea. The thing is, back when I was a bit younger, like it was a long time ago. Um, I that word had a different meaning, eh? That word had a different meaning. Okay, question 4. When you have an answer, drop it in the chat for me. I'm gonna give another 30 seconds or so, maybe another minute. Question number 4. Okay, I can see a lot of people dropping 19 in the chat. It does say give your answer to the nearest whole number for anybody who didn't round it. Let's have a look. It says Festival A will be in a rectangular field with an area of 80,000. The greatest number of people that are allowed to attend is 425. Festival B is going to be in a rectangular field, which is 700 meters by 2,000 meters. So this time we've not been given the area. And the greatest number of people allowed to attend is 6,750. We're told that the area per person allowed for Festival B is greater than for Festival A. How much greater? So what we're going to have to do is work out the area per person for Festival A and for Festival B. What are we going to do? So Festival A. In order to work out the area per person, we're going to do the area divided by the number of people. So area per person is going to be the total area divided by the number of people. We can see that we have an area of 80,000. So 80,000, and we're going to divide that by 425. Fraction is just a different way of writing divide by. So 80,000 divided by 425. I'm going to bring that into the calculator, and we're going to have 188.24 meters squared, and that is to 2 decimal places. Now, what about for Festival B? Let's work that out. I'm actually just going to move this to the left a little bit to free up a bit more space. Well, for Festival B, there's going to be one extra step, right? Because for Festival B, we've not actually been told the area, but we can work it out. We know that the width is 700 and the length is 2,000. So to work out the area, first of all, we're going to do that the area is equal to the base times by the height. It's going to be 700 times by 2,000. We type that into the calculator. It's going to be 14 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. It's going to be what's that? 1.4 million. Now, working out the area per person, we're going to do our area of 1, 4, and then 5 zeros divided by the number of people, 6,750. 6,750. I'm going to type that into the calculator, fraction or just divide. So 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, divide by 6750. What are we going to get on the calculator? We're going to get 207.41 to 2 decimal places. 207.41, and that's to 2 decimal places. Now, the question did say, how much bigger is it? We're going to work out the difference. So we're going to do our 207.41 minus our 188.24. I'm going to type that into the calculator. 207.41 minus 188.24, and we're going to get 19.17, which, rounding to the nearest whole number, is just going to be 19. Guys, our first long question of the day, 4 marks up for grabs. I'm going to give 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to our next question, which is actually just a 1 marker, which is attached. Guys, drop your answer in the chat for this one for me. Callum says that 300 centimeters squared is the same as 3 meters squared because there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So you divide it by 100. Callum's method is wrong. Explain why. What do we think, team? Don't worry, DB. I'm going to answer in a second. Okay. Yeah, good job, Saturn. Joe MMA, nice as well. So, this is one of the most common mistakes in the whole of GCSE maths, guys. This is one of the most common mistakes in the whole of GCSE maths. So, pay close attention to what I'm about to say. What they've done is they've gone from meters squared to centimeters squared, and they've divided by 100. Now, there's logic to that. We know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So they divided by 100. But what's the problem? When we go from meters squared to centimeters squared, we need to divide by 100 twice. So this is the thing. Whenever we do area conversions, we need to do our regular conversion twice. Whenever we do volume conversions, we need to do our regular conversion 3 times. So for example, 1 kilometer squared into meters squared. Well, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So we're going to need to do 1,000 times 1,000, which is actually going to be 1,000,000 meters squared. So we have to do the regular conversion twice. So in this case, we can just say he should divide by 100 twice. That is going to be our reason. Okay. Pranav said, Callum clearly didn't come to these lessons. Exactly, exactly. Okay, question number 5, guys. This is quite a tough one. This is quite a tough one. Not many students get this right. But honestly, questions like this have been coming up a reasonably large amount in recent years, mainly because people don't get them right. So let's give this a solid go. I know there's a lot of new people on today, so welcome to the community. If it's your first time here, I've been doing these lives for a little while. I'm going to be live tomorrow evening. I'm going to do 2 higher papers and 1 foundation paper, which the details are just up there. Welcome to the community. Let's keep the chat good vibes. One of the most common questions is like what I do and my GCSE grades, my A-level grades, also how old I am. So I have been tutoring maths and other subjects as well for 8 years now, for 8 years. My GCSE grades, I got 12 A stars. My A-level grades, I got 3 A stars. Degree-wise, I went to the London School of Economics, and my degree was in economics. So that's kind of the long and short of that one, just because I know a lot of people have been asking that in the chat. Cue number 5. Yellow Yeti said you did 12 subjects. So I don't know if it's still the same actually, but back in those days, like there was these double awards. So like business counted for 2, science counted for 2, and then I did a few other options. Guys, I need to stop doing this when I read a random comment and laugh to myself because I'm seeing from your perspective, it's like, what's this dude laughing at? Okay, question number 5. I'm going to give another 2 minutes probably for this one. I want you to give a really good go. Vampire Side said laughing again. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys. I need to get out the habit of laughing to myself at the chat. That's my bad. That's my bad. Because sometimes the things are inappropriate to say, which low key they are funny. So like every now and again, I'll read a comment which is actually funny, but I can't say it on the stream. So I just laugh at it and then don't say anything. Um, okay, my hint for this one, guys, is going to be this. Let's try and draw it out. So the coordinates of L on -3, 1. So let's put this down here, -3, 1, and that's L. M is to the right and above it, so let's put it here. Let's say this is M, and this is the point 4, 9. And then we're told in the question that the ratio of L to M, so this one, so L to M to N is 2 to 3. In other words, N is going to be somewhere up here. And then the question, right, is to work out N. So that's all I'm going to say so far. Actually, I'll say something else, which what I'll say is we can also work out the distance from L to M, like how many units across and how many units up. And then we can scale that up to get the distance from M to N. So chat, let me know when you're ready, and we're going to get cracking. We're going to get cracking. Also, guys, if I'm dancing and bobbing my head up and down, it's because I got some music playing. Okay, quite a lot of people, or not actually a lot of people, but somebody on the YouTube said please check TikTok comments as well. I actually can't check both of them at the same time because it's just too much. That's why I focus on the YouTube one. So if you do have questions, if you want to engage with the chat and ask me questions and stuff, definitely come over to the YouTube. Okay, so guys, how are we going to do it? Well, we've been told that the ratio of L to M to N is 2 to 3. So if we can work out the distance from L to M, if we can work out the distance from L to M, we can divide it by 2 to find one part of the ratio and times it by 3 to find the distance from M to N. So how do we get from L to M? Well, in the X direction, we go from -3 to 4. So that's an increase of 7 in the X direction. Now, what about in the Y direction? In the Y direction, we go from 1 up to 9 up, we go 8 up. So we can say two parts of our ratio is 7, 8. How shall I write this? I'll just say it. So two parts of the ratio is 7, 8. We can now divide that by 2 to find one part of the ratio. So one part of the ratio is going to be half of that. So we're going to divide it by 2. It's going to be 3.5. So it's going to be 3.5 right, and it's going to be 4 up. So one part is going to be, actually, I'll just write this out fully to make it really clear. So one part is going to be 3.54. And that was because two parts of the ratio, so two parts of the ratio was 7, 8. Now we can find three parts of the ratio by timesing that by 3. So 3 parts. 3.5 times 3, you can do it on the calculator, is going to be 10.5. And 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So what have we worked out from that? Well, we've worked out that this distance is 10.5 and this distance is 12. So to get from M to N, we can add 10.5 to the X coordinate. So we're going to do 4 plus 10.5 is going to be 14.5. And then we can add 12 to the Y coordinate. 12 plus 9 is going to be 21. So we get our answer of 14.5 and then 21. So what we did was we scaled that down to find one part of the ratio and then times it by 3 to find 3 parts. Guys, talk to me in the chat. Was there anybody who didn't get that but understands it now? Because those are my favorite comments. So if you can let me know if you're in that group, that would be absolutely amazing. Issa, welcome back. Good to have you. Alina said it makes sense now. Thank you. Archie said, let's go. Okay, quite a few people saying that I still don't understand it. Guys, if you still don't understand it, this is a really difficult question. Even though it comes up in question 5, it's still hard. Hassanine said, makes sense. Jess said, makes sense. Guys, very nice to hear. Thank you very much. Okay, question number 6. Couple of minutes for this one. 2 minutes for this one, and then we're going to go through it. Jim Hub said, so I came to YouTube just for him to ignore my comments. Put the comment in again, mate. Put the comment in again and I'll answer it. It's while I'm explaining, I can't read the chat. And also there's 350 others, so I can't get around to everybody's comments. El said, could this come up this year, sir? If you meant this topic, it's pretty much guaranteed. So this is a bit of a hint, but it's a version of compound interest. This is actually compound decay. So we're decreasing by 4% for 3 years instead of increasing by 4%. Man like Timmy in the chat, good to have you. Does anybody know the song Omo Ope by Sharkey? That's what we got on now. Mix Max has got an answer. Jim Hubber's got an answer. Very nice. Ren Sellers got an answer. DD. Okay. Question number 6, team. Let's have a look and see what we can do. It says a new phone costs £679. The value of the phone decreases at a rate of 4% each year. work out the value of the phone at the end of 3 years. So this is going to be a situation where we have compound decay. The value of the phone decreases by 4%, then that new value decreases by 4%, then that new value decreases by 4%. How are we going to work this out? Well, we're going to have to multiply our 679 by our percentage multiplier for a 4% decrease. How do we find the percentage multiplier? Well, we do 1 minus our percentage written as a decimal. So 4% as a decimal is 0.04. So we're going to do 1 minus 0.04 to get our percentage multiplier. It's going to be 0.96. Now, that means that we have to multiply our value by 0.96. We could either do this 3 times separately, so we could do it like this. That would be perfect. Or it's going to be a little bit more practical if instead of doing this, we divide it by not divide by, I meant times by it 3 times. Instead of timesing by it 3 times separately, we could just times by it cubed. So 679 times by 0.96 cubed, that's going to be the same as 679 times 0.96 times 0.96 times 0.96. I'm going to bring it into the calculator, 679 times 0.96 to the power of 3, and we're going to get 600. Let me put that pound sign in there, 600.735. And then because this is a financial value or an amount of money, I'm going to do it to 2 decimal places. We're going to get 600.7. Because of the 5, the 3 is going to round up to a 4, and we get £600 and 74 pence. Great work if you got that one, team. Ooh, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 7. We have 4 marks up for grabs in this one, so I'm going to give you a few minutes again. Couple of people asking whether this is the only live for today. Yep, this is going to be the only live for today. And then I'm going to be live all evening tomorrow evening. I was originally planning on doing 2 lives, hoping to do 2 this evening. But I'll be honest, guys, I am super, super tired from doing so many lives. And I've got some other stuff going on as well outside of the YouTube. So I thought I can either do another live tonight, a foundation paper, but then I'm going to be extra tired for tomorrow. Or we can prioritize tomorrow, which is the big evening ahead of paper 2. So I would rather be on top form tomorrow evening than be tired going into tomorrow. So that's why, basically. Iman says, will you go live next week too for paper 3? 100%. From probably not Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, we'll be back on the grind. So I won't do lives Thursday, Friday. I'll go live Wednesday evening probably to hear how you guys got on. I'll do a chill live on Wednesday evening. But I won't be live Thursday, Friday, because I know you want to chill and you're revising for other subjects. But then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to be back. Maria says, can you post a paper you will solve tomorrow before the live? 100%. 100%. I know I've said a couple of times that I'll be able to announce the papers in advance. For tomorrow, they'll definitely be up. I'm going to upload them straight after this live, actually. Because normally I decide very close, depending on a couple of different factors. But I've actually already decided which papers for tomorrow. Okay, question number 7. Guys, drop ready in the chat for me when you're ready. I'm not going to upload the actual papers, but I'll say which papers we're doing, and then you can download them off Maths Genie or whatever. Hey, Cat Twix, good to have you on. Good to have you on, Lincoln, as well, of course. So, is Sammy Boy correct? Well, what does he say? He says that in Spain, well, I've said that in a bit of a weird way. Let me just read the question. In Spain, Sam pays €27 for 18 litres of petrol. In Wales, Leo pays £40.80 for 8 gallons of the same type of petrol. Okay. Then we're told that €1 is equal to 85 pence. 4.5 litres is 1 gallon. And then it says that Sam thinks petrol is cheaper in Spain than in Wales. Is Sam correct? You must show how you get your answer. So we're going to have to find a way to compare these. What we're going to do is we're going to convert them to the same currency and then find the price in that currency for 1 liter. And that is going to allow what we call a like-for-like comparison. So let's go ahead and work out Spain first. So how much are we talking in Spain? Well, he pays 27 euros for 18 litres. First off, I'm going to convert this euros into pounds using our conversion down here. We've been told that 1 euro is equal to 85 pence. So to go from euros to pence, we can times by 0.85, or not to pence, but to pounds. So 27 euros times by 0.85, which is our conversion into pounds. I'm going to type that into the calculator. 27 times 0.85, and we're going to get 22.95. Next step, what can we do? Well, this is for 18 liters of petrol, so for 18 liters, let's work out the amount for 1 liter. So we're going to divide this by 18. So I'm going to type in 22.95 divided by 18. On the calculator, that is going to give us 1.275. So this is going to be the price for 1 liter. Now, what about what's going on in Wales? So in Wales, we've been told that it's £40.80 for 8 gallons. What we're going to have to do is convert from gallons into litres and work out how many litres we have. So gallons into litres, so we can make a like-for-like comparison. Well, we've been told that 1 gallon is equal to 4.5 litres. So we can do our 8 gallons times by 4.5 litres per gallon. That is going to be 36. Let me just double check that. 8 times 4.5, yep, 36. So 36 litres. And that is for how much? That is for £40.80. For £40.80. Now to convert into the price for 1 litre, we're going to do our number of pounds, £40.80, divided by our number of litres, 36. £40.80 divided by 36 on the calculator. That is going to give us 1.13, technically reoccurring. So Sam thinks it's cheaper in Spain than in Wales. Is he correct? Nope, he's clearly not correct because it's cheaper in Wales. Let's write that in. So is he correct? No. Cheaper in Wales. Cheaper in Wales. Okay, guys. 5 seconds to screenshot. And then we're going to move on to our next one. Guys, I have a quick question as well. I have a couple of lights in front of me. The room which I'm in is actually pretty dark. Is it better with the lights like up? That's a bit too bright. Probably like that. There we go. That's probably the best, no? But now it's actually a bit too bright for my eyes. Let me turn that down 1 click. Okay, let's just roll with this. Okay, a couple of people saying dark is better. Which is better, guys? Light or dark? Okay, people saying it's good. Okay, thank you very much. 5 seconds to screenshot this one. Like I said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And we're going to move on to question number 8. Now, this one, I know a lot of you don't have your calculators with you probably. So I'm just going to type this one in and see what we get and write it in. So question number 8, it says use your calculator to work out the cube root of 1.57 to the power of 4 plus tan 60 over 7.2 to the power of a half. Give your answer to 3 sig fig. So I'm going to type this into the calculator. Fraction cube root of 1.57 to the power of 4 plus, oh, I clicked the wrong button. I'm going to have to start again, okay? So fraction, fraction, fourth root of, not fourth root, third root of 1.57 to the power of 4 plus tan 60, close bracket, over 7.2 to the power of a half. I click equals in the calculator, give your answer to 3 sig fig. Let me write it down. 0.7 3, 9, 3, 3, etc. to 3 significant figures. How do we round to significant figures? Well, we need to look at our first number, which is not a 0. That's going to be our first significant figure. So this doesn't count as a significant figure because it's a 0 and it doesn't have any numbers before it. So our first significant figure is going to be the 7. Second is going to be the 3. Third is going to be the 9. So we're going to have to look at our next significant figure, the 3. And because it's below 5, because it's 4 or below, we're going to round down. We're going to keep that 9 the same. So we're going to have 0.739. That is going to be our answer. You definitely need the calculator printed out for that one. Okay, moving on to question number 9. 3 marks up for grabs in this one. A good problem-solving question. This is a really good problem-solving question. Good as in it's just a solid, good one to practice with. Okay. Isaac said, you definitely need the calculator printed out for that one. Yeah, my bad. I must have said the I combined 2 different ideas, having the paper printed out and having the calculator with you. That's what happens when you get tired, guys. That's my version of a silly mistake. Have I said any other really dumb stuff yet? Hopefully you don't notice too much. You must have the calculator printed out. You must have a calculator with you is what I meant to say. Okay, question number 9. Okay. I can see quite a few answers going in the chat. Let's have a look at this one. The question says a box in the shape of a cuboid is placed on a horizontal floor. The box exerts a force of 180 newtons. Okay, so F is equal to 180 on the floor. The box exerts a pressure of 187.5 newtons per meter squared on the floor. Okay, so pressure is equal to 187.5. And then it says the face is in contact with the floor, or the face in contact with the floor is a rectangle, length 1.2 meters and width x meters. Work out the value of x. Okay, classic problem solving. So we need to work out the value of x. How do we work out the value of x? Well, we know that the area of a rectangle is length times by width. So if we can work out the area, we can divide it by 1.2 to find our width. So the first step then is going to be to work out our area. How are we going to do it? Well, we can either do it by rearranging this equation up here, or we can use our triangle. And I know a lot of us love the triangle method. So let's write out the triangle. We're going to have a nice triangle like this. We're going to have pressure, force, and area. How does a triangle help us? Well, to work out the value of area, we cover up the A on the triangle and we can see we have F over P. What that tells us is that area is equal to force divided by pressure. So we can say area equals force divided by pressure, which in this case is going to give us area equals 180 over 187.5, which we're going to type into the calculator. I'm going to do 180 divided by 187.5. And we're going to get 0.96, 0.96. And then it says work out the value of x. Well, how are we going to do that part? We know that to work out the area of a rectangle, let me just change color real quick. We do length times by width. So if I draw a rectangle out like this. So we know that the length is 1.2. Let's say that this is 1.2. And then the width is x. So this is x. So we know basically that 1.2 times by x is going to give us this area of 0.96. So area equals 0.96. The units, guys, is meters squared for that area. So what we can say is that 1.2 times by x is equal to 0.96. And then to work out the value of x, we can divide both sides by 1.2, divide by 1.2, divide by 1.2. We're going to get x is equal to 0.96 divided by 1.2, 0.96 divided by 1.2. We're going to get 0.8 as our answer. X is going to be equal to 0.8. Now, a couple of good questions of do we need to write in the units? So do we need to write in the units for this one? We actually don't need to write in the units. And the reason is because the question actually says that our width is equal to x meters. So the number x is 0.8 and the width is 0.8 meters. So because of the way the question's worded, we don't need to write the unit in there. Okay. Nicely done, Maria. 5 seconds to screenshot, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 10. Man like Andrew is wrong. He says that 3/4 of the given data lies between 160,000 and 350,000 because these are the values of the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Andrew is wrong. Explain why. Explain why. Tech Gaming, very good answer. Said neither. Depends if the units are already given in the answer or whether they're in the question. Ah, guys, I made a mistake on that. Good shout. So the live's tomorrow. Thank you. Somebody asked me to clarify what time they are because they overlapped. Really good shout. That was a little typo. So it should have said 5 till 6:30, and then it'd be 7 till 8:30, and then 9 till 11. So that's a really good shout, Neve. Or not Neve, whoever said that. Okay, what do we reckon? Mr. UCL said, Andrew said the interquartile range. I'm not seeing many good answers here, guys. I'm not seeing many good answers. Okay, Pranav got a good answer. Okay, guys, so Andrew is wrong. Why is he wrong? Well, he said that half of the data is between the lower quartile, which is 160. So this is 160, which is the lower quartile, and the upper quartile, which is 350. So we got those bits right, the actual numbers. But do we have half of the data between? Sorry, I just gave it away. Do we have 3/4 of the data between them? No, we don't. When it comes to our quartiles, we have a quarter of the data in each of the quartiles. So we're going to have a quarter between the lower value and the lower quartile, a quarter between the lower quartile and the median, a quarter between the median and the upper value, and a quarter between the upper quartile and the upper value. So in total, how many do we have between the lower quartile and the upper quartile? Well, we have 2/4, which is a half. So why is Andrew wrong? Andrew is wrong because we have half the data between the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So he said we have 3/4 of the data, but we only have a half the data between the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Okay, let's have a look at this next question. It says the table shows information about the sales in thousands in a shop each month. We have the bunch of the values, and then it says on the grid below, draw a box plot for the information. So we're going to have to do our box plot or use our box plot skills. How do we do it? Well, when we draw a box plot, we're going to draw a vertical line at the lower value, at the lower quartile, at the median, at the upper quartile, and at the greatest value. So the least value is going to be 30. So we're going to go 3 boxes along. We can see there's 10 boxes between 0 and 100. So 1 box is going to be equal to 10. So the least value of 30 is going to be 3 boxes along. Can draw a vertical line at 30. The lower quartile is at 80, so that's going to be here, 2 boxes below. The median is going to be 170, so that's 2 boxes above the 150. The upper quartile is 260. So 250 is here between the 200 and the 300. So 260 is going to be one box above it. We're going to go bang. And then greatest value is 350. That is just going to be here, halfway between the 300 and the 400. Now what do? Well, between the lower value and the lower quartile, we join them with a straight line. Upper quartile and upper value, we join them with a straight line. And then we complete our box by drawing a line on the top and on the bottom. Quite a few people will be thinking, do we have to draw it going all the way to the top and the bottom? No, we don't. You could draw it kind of going, from there to there and just draw it a little bit smaller. I just went for the big one because why not? It looks a little bit clearer on the diagram there for you. So we, could draw it a little bit smaller, but I just went full size. Okay, question number, or part number C. Compare the distribution of the sales of the online store with the distribution of the sales in the shop. Now, this is another one that I'm just going to go through, and the reason is because it's on 2 pages, so it's a bit awkward. So compare the distribution. When we compare 2 distributions from a box plot or from box plots, what do, guys? Well, we compare the average, so which one is higher on average. And the way we do that is by comparing the medians. Here we have a median of 200. Here we have a median of 170. So we can say that, what were the names of them? So this was online store. This was in a shop. So we can say online store is greater on average. And I'm going to write it on here just so everything's together. So online store sells more on average. And the reason is because the median is higher. So median is higher. So that's going to be one of our reasons. And if we wanted to, we could write in what the medians are. Let's just have a quick read of the question. Yeah, so we don't have to give the actual median. And then what else do we compare? Well, we compare how consistent they are or how spread out they are. How do we do that? Using either the interquartile range or the range. Now, they're always going to set the question up so that you can use the range or the interquartile range, and it gives the same answer. I'm going to use the interquartile range. How do we find the interquartile range? Well, the interquartile range is going to be the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So in this case, for 10, the interquartile range, not for 10, sorry, for the online store, the interquartile range is going to be 350 minus 160, which is going to be, I could write that actually a bit more properly. So 350 minus 160. And we're just going to do that on the calculator to prevent any silly mistakes. Yep, that's going to be 190. And the interquartile range for these guys, well, it's going to be the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So the interquartile range for this is going to be 260 minus 80, which is going to be 180. So which interquartile range is larger? It's larger for the online store. So we can also say the online store sales are less consistent, in brackets, interquartile range is lower. Interquartile range is lower. Oof. Okay, I was explaining that one for a while, guys. I know I've been monologuing for a while. Haven't been able to have a look at the chat. Let me know, guys. Did that one make sense? Do you have any questions? Let's see. Jay said, damn, this paper is a lot nicer than yesterday's so far. Yep, I'm going to agree with that. Yesterday's paper was brutal. Thorfinn said it makes sense. Good to hear. Firesteam said that was a lot to learn. Hopefully it makes sense, Firesteam. Will said, will it be less consistent if the range is lower? So if the range is lower, it's going to be more consistent because it's less spread out. So a big range means it's really spread out, which means it's less consistent. A couple of people are asking me to repeat the explanation. I'm not going to have time to repeat the explanation, guys, just because a lot of people are watching, but all of the lives are recorded. They're uploaded straight to the YouTube channel on the live tab. So feel free to skip back and watch anything back. You can also skip back a little bit And then like now, rewatch it and then skip forward. And then you can just, when I'm waffling at some point, you can just skip the waffle. Okay, question number 11. I'm gonna, yeah. Does anybody who have the paper printed out, who has the paper printed out, know how many questions there are in this paper? Neve said it's 555. Make a wish. Divine numerology, sacred numerology. Make your wish, guys. Okay, a lot of people saying question 22. Guys, something I was wondering, is I'm really curious. So somebody sent me the other day, someone actually who I tutor, sent me a picture of their setup, like their setup with the live stream on and like their notebook in front of them. Um, I know a lot of you guys have got the paper printed out. I would absolutely love it if there was some way for me to be able to see like your live stream setup, if that makes sense. Because I'm super curious. Because obviously I'm doing this from home. I've got a camera. I've got a couple of lights set up. I've got my graphics tablet in front of me, but I can't see from your guys' perspective. So I might try and find a way. I don't know if it's something that you guys would do, but I might try and find a way for you guys to submit photos. Like maybe I have like a business phone number that they could be sent to submit photos of like the setup, like with your paper in front of you and the live stream on live. I think that would be really cool. Well, it would be cool for me. You guys might not find it cool, but it's cool for me to see like, okay, when people are doing the live streams, like, what does it actually look like? Does it kind of make sense? Neve said it's a good idea. Iman said I have it on my laptop and do it on my iPad next to it. Jake said Discord groups, could put it on Discord group. Mohammed says, can I send it? So guys, I would really appreciate it if you could send it. I have a business phone number, like a WhatsApp number. I don't know if you guys have WhatsApp. You could either do it on WhatsApp or on Discord. Let me know what would be better. Put it in the chat for me now, Discord or WhatsApp, and then I'll go through the question. Because I'm really curious to see. I don't know why I found it so cool, because it kind of made it real for me. Like it made it real seeing like everybody's setups. Okay, a lot of people saying Discord. I know some people won't have Discord. Okay, guys, I can put the link to the Discord in later. Okay, I'll also put the WhatsApp number. So, guys, I'll do that then today, probably at the end of the session. I'll set that up at the end of the session. There is a Discord. There is a Discord server for my GCSE maths, but I've not been promoting it because Discord, guys, in my experience, just goes dodgy. Okay, Neve said do a poll. Guys, let's do question 11 because I want to stay focused. And then maybe in two more questions, we're going to do that 5-minute break and we'll get this thing set up. Okay, question number 11. It says Kieran has 13 workers he can use for a job. He knows that 6 workers would take 14 and a half days to complete this job. We're asked to show that Kieran has enough workers to finish this job in less than 7 days. In less than 7 days. How are we going to do it? Well, this is a applied direct proportion question. We're going to start off by working out how many hours in total that it takes. So how many hours work, not hours actually, days, sorry. So how many days work does this take? Well, if we have 6 workers and each of them are working for 14 and a half days, how many days of effort is that? Well, each of them, so 6 workers do 14 and a half, which is 14.5 days each. So the total amount of effort expired is going to be 6 times 14.5, which is 87. So it's like 87 days of effort in total. So days of effort or days of work. Now we can work out how long it would take 13 workers by doing that 87 days split between 13 people. And that's going to give us how many days for 13 workers all working together. 87 divide 13 is going to give us 6.69. So have we shown that it's less than 7 days to complete the job? Yep, it's less than 7 because 6.69 is less than 7. So we're all good. We're all good. Yeah, good work, Shrikinsha. Good work, Twisted Paradox. Good job, Wahida. Good job, Alina. Good job, Jellybean Games. Okay. Question number 12. We're going to do this one. Yeah, we'll do this one. It says the equation of the line L1 is y equals 2x plus 3. The equation of the line L2 is 5y minus 10x plus 4 equals 0. Show that these two lines are parallel. Oh, true, actually. Hyperion without a Hyperion, whatever that means. I just read somebody's name in case that's some dodgy word. You're right, I did write factorial technically, but nobody doing GCSE knows what factorial is, so we're safe, we're safe. And for anybody who's wondering that now, there's a thing in maths, which comes in A-level maths technically, where an exclamation mark means factorial. 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, but that's not important. Quite a few people saying rearrange, rearrange, rearrange. Let's have a look. So how do we show that two lines are parallel? Well, what does parallel mean? Parallel means, so parallel means same gradient. How do we work out the gradient of a straight line? Well, the general equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. So what we need to do is rearrange the equation of L2 and see whether we have a 2 next to the x. And because it says show that, we should end up with a 2 next to the x. So for line 1, we can leave that in its current form because it's already y equals mx plus c. So this one has a gradient of 2. What about L2? I'll write it out first. So 5y equals, not equals, 5y minus 10x plus 4 equals 0. I'm going to move everything over to the right-hand side apart from the y's. So I'm going to add 10x to both sides. So we're going to have 10x, and I'm going to minus 4 from both sides. 5y equals 10x minus 4. Next step, to get the y on its own, we're going to divide both sides by 5. Y is going to be equal to 2x minus 4 divided by 5 is going to be 0.8. Now we've shown that they have the same gradient. Therefore, they must be parallel. So they have the same gradient. Therefore, they must be parallel. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot this one. Having a quick look at the chat. From now on, anybody who uses the word GOON will be muted permanently. There is no need for it. Okay. Question 13. Enlarge the shape by scale factor -2 with center of enlargement 0, 0. I'm going to give 30 seconds for this one because I know a lot of people will probably leave. Well, a lot of people don't have the paper printed out. This is one that you do need the paper printed out for. But even if you don't have the paper printed out, a lot of people saying it came up in paper 1 at Excel. Yeah, true, it did. I'll just go through it then, guys. But if you're doing AQA, make sure you watch this carefully because it could definitely still come up. So the question says, enlarge the shaded shape by scale factor -2 with center of enlargement 0, 0. So here we have enlargement by a negative scale factor. What we do with any enlargement is we count the distance from the center of enlargement to the points, and then we multiply that by the scale factor. Here, because we have a negative scale factor, it's going to also change direction. Let me show you what I mean. So how do we get from the center of enlargement 0, 0 to this point here? Well, this is the point with coordinates -3, -2. So we go 3 to the left and 2 down. We're going to double that. And because the scale factor is -2, we're going to also do it in the other direction. So this is going to go from 3 left and 2 down to 6 right and 4 up. 6 right and 4 up. Now, luckily, because the center of enlargement is 0, 0, it's quite easy to go 6 right and 4 up. We just go to the point 6, 4. Now we can do the same with this coordinate down here. It's 4 left and 2 down. We're going to double that, so it's going to be 8 right and 4 up. So it's going to be 8 right and, not 8 right, sorry, it's 5 left. Sorry, miscounted that. So 5 left and 2 down. So we're going to go 10 right and 4 up. And we're going to do the same with the other coordinates. So this one down here is 6 left and 4 down. So it's going to be 12 right and 8 up. 12 right and 8 up. And that was that one. And now this coordinate is 2 left, 4 down. So it's going to be 4 right and 8 up. There we go. 4 right and 8 up. Now, all that we have to do is join those with straight lines. We go bosh. We go bosh. We go bosh. And we go bosh. Beautiful. That's going to be our answer to that one, guys. We're going to do question 14 next. Then we're going to take our little break in the middle. I'm going to do the old review thing, which you guys know about. And then I'm going to share the phone number to send those pictures that I mentioned. And I'm going to do the Discord link as well. Gonna remove the playlist for now. There we go. I'm sharing the link to review. Question number 14. Let's see what we can do. Also, do we have many of the mods on at the moment? Just out of interest on the YouTube. I think we do. Yeah, nice. Thank you, Lincoln New. Good to have you on still. Thank you, Cat Twix. Thank you, Maria. Guys, awesome. Also, if we've done this question, can we please get a quick W in the chat? Because I know it's easier than an emoji. Guys, can we please get a quick W in the chat for the moderators? I would not be able to do this without their help. Seriously. Yeah, nice. Thank you, guys. So yeah, they hold it down. They mute the people who are messing up the chat. There's currently 400 of us on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Neve. Thank you, Joe. Called Joe Mama. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Thorfinn. Guys, it's really they do hold it down for everybody. So thank you to everybody who's putting those in. Okay, question 14 now. Let's have a look at this one and we'll see what we can do. Question 14. It says, Saffron wants to work out an estimate for the total number of fish in a lake. On Friday, she catches 180 fish from the lake. She puts a tag on each of them, capture, recapture, and puts them back into the lake. Okay, on Saturday, she catches 305 fish, and she finds 45 of the 305 are tagged. Work out an estimate for the total number of fish in the lake. Now, there's a couple of different ways to think about capture, recapture, guys. A couple of different ways. Now, one way is to do it just by timesing by something you memorize, but it's actually going to be better to think about it logically because it's going to allow you to think about the problem-solving questions. So what's actually going on? Well, we know that tagging 180 out of the total number. So tagging 180 out of the total number gives a probability of being tagged of 45 out of 305. 45 out of 305. So it's like saying, okay, if I tag 180 and throw them back in, the fraction of them that are tagged, we're going to think it's 45 over 305 because we think at the end of the day, when we've thrown them back in, they've swam around and gone random, that the probability of choosing one which is tagged is 45 over 305. So we can say 180 over x equals 45 over 305. Now what we're going to want to do is rearrange this to find the value of x. At the moment, we have x on the bottom of a fraction, which we don't really like. So I'm going to start off by timesing both sides by x. I'm going to get 180 equals 45 over 305 times by x. Next step, to get the x on its own, because that's what we're trying to work out, I'm going to divide both sides by 45 over 305 to get the x on its own. So I'm going to have 180 divided by 45 over 305, and that is going to give us our value of x. So typing that into the calculator, 180 divided by fraction, 45 over 305. We're going to get 1,220. And that is going to be our answer. If you got that one, guys, really nicely done. Capture recapture is one of the least liked topics. If you didn't get it, but now it makes sense, guys, congratulations. And please let me know in the chat because they're my favorite comments. So guys, let me know. Did you get that one? Also, we are now going to take a 5-minute halfway break. Don't worry, guys. We're going to finish the whole paper today. I'm going to do every question. So we might finish a little bit after 7, but we're going to now take a 5-minute break. So the maths is going to start again at 6:15. During the break, we're going to do 2 things. Number 1, if you're new here, welcome to the community. Welcome to the team. You've seen the format. Basically, I'm going to be going through past papers on the live streams. We've got a bunch of lives tomorrow night. You can see the times above my head. Now, one thing that I would really ask you guys to do, if you're finding this helpful, if you're finding it beneficial, please, please, please take like 30 seconds or a minute to leave a review on Google. I really want to keep doing the free social media live streams. The only way I'm going to be able to keep doing that is if I can get enough Google reviews. So you can see that I've pinned a link in the chat. It says, leave a review if you found this live helpful. Guys, I cannot tell you how much I would appreciate it. I know a lot of you have already left reviews. I'm very grateful to everybody who has. But just for those who are new, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a review. It's going to take like 30 seconds. If you could leave a nice message, I would love that as well. We have had a few people who have been trolling and left 1-star reviews, which is super, super annoying. Like no message, just a 1-star review, or even a troll message like £1 fish. So it's super important actually that we can get enough reviews to like counteract the 1-star ones. It's come down from a 5-star review to a 4.9, which is a little bit annoying. But at the end of the day, the evil never wins. The trolls are never going to win. So yeah, if you could do it, guys, I would be really appreciative. Neve says, RIP £1 fish. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what that means, basically somebody commented £1 fish and wrote it, gave it 1 star. But guys, thank you to everybody who has reviewed. And thank you to everybody who's doing it now. I really, really appreciate it. Now, next thing during the break, I mentioned that I would love to see your guys' setups. So like, what does it look like? Like, what does the setup look like? And if you guys, yeah. Okay, so what does the setup look like? I've seen a couple of people have sent me photos of like, you know, the iPad in front of them and with the live stream on there. So that's crucial, like having the live stream on there, and like your notebook in front of you, because I think it's so, okay. I need to explain what I laughed at. I laughed at somebody who said this looks like peak unemployment. um, but yeah, if you could send me a picture of your setup, that would be super cool. I could try and find a way to send an example of what I mean. Just like the notepad in front of you with like the live stream, like live. Just because I think it's super cool. So, what's going to be the best way to do it? I don't really want to send even my business number in the chat. So I will send a link to the Discord. Let's do that. So I'll send a link to the Discord on the chat. Or actually, if one of the mods could find a link before me, that would be cool as well. I just want to see if this link is still working. Okay, looks like it is. Yeah, cool. Okay, guys, I'm going to share the link to the Discord. If you haven't already, here you are. Yeah, Jess said Discord is probably the safest option. Can't lie because people are weird. Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to send the link now. There we go. That's the link to the Discord server. Hopefully that works. Hopefully that works. Can somebody let me know if the link works? And I'm going to make a channel, or actually, how do I make a channel on Discord? Okay, guys, what I'm going to say is, I won't make a channel, but what I will do is media. I'll rename this channel, edit channel, submit photos of setup. And if it doesn't work for any reason, let me know. We can troubleshoot it and see how it's see if it's popping. So submit photos of setup. Guys, to anybody who's just joined, let me know, is it working? Oh, it's cool, low key. Guys, let's keep it appropriate. Let's keep it appropriate, or I'm gonna have to shut it down. I'm gonna have to shut it down. To anybody, okay, a couple of people saying can't click the link. Okay, lots of people saying the link doesn't work, invalid link. Guys, try copy and pasting it into the browser. Try copy and pasting it into the browser. Anybody putting inappropriate stuff in the Discord is gonna get blocked. Okay, Famlam Cuz, I'm glad that you're on there. Famlam Cuz, if you're listening to the live, I'm gonna need you to get to be on it when it comes to removing people. You're gonna need to be on it when it comes to removing the trolls. Anybody putting dodgy stuff in there will be blocked instantly. Zexter, awesome. Famlam Cuz, if you could make Zexter, who's Cat Twix, a moderator, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Wait, Cat Twix, actually, can you verify on YouTube for me? Can you verify on YouTube for me that it's actually you who sent that before you make her him or her a moderator? Oh, guys, this is sick. I'm loving this. To anybody who doesn't know what a Discord server is, basically, guys, it's like it's another social media platform like YouTube or whatever. And basically, what it allows you to do is it's basically like group chats, essentially. It's basically like group chats. Where you can, talk about maths and blah, blah, blah. A couple of people saying break is over. Guys, I'm going to extend the break until 20 past because I want to get this set up nicely. So break is being extended till 20 past. However, guys, don't worry. We're going to be doing the entire paper, so don't stress about that. To be honest, I can also do it by sharing my to anybody. Actually, I'm just going to do a quick vote. Start poll. Do you need phone to send? What will be another way to do it? What can you send? Guys, what else can you send images on without me giving out my work phone number? Because with the business one, I can just change the number, so it doesn't actually matter. It's not like I'm giving out my personal phone number. But what would be a good way to share the images? Um, what would be a good way to share the images? Oh, Mohammed says email. Guys, email, obviously. I'm being such a fool. Okay, guys. Shall I do that email address? Reddit, email, Insta, email. Okay, guys, let's do email. I was just being a clown. So what email address shall I use? What email address shall I use? I'm going to use Matt. No, I'm not. I'm going to use, yeah, I'll use that. Yeah. Matt at mygcsemaths.com. Okay, that will work. So, guys, if you don't have Discord to submit the photos, you can send it via email to matt@mygcsemaths.com. So I'm going to now replace the pinned message with the email address. That email should work. And if somebody... And guys, you'll be muted very quickly and banned very quickly if anything inappropriate goes in there. So let's keep it cool, yeah? Let's keep it cool. There are some cool setups in there, I can't lie. There are some cool setups in there. Okay, guys, we're going to get started with the maths now because I know some people aren't going to be sending the setups, and I did say 20 past. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started with the maths again. Is there anything inappropriate going in there, Famlam? Because I'm going to need you to police it, mate. I'm going to need you to police it. Okay, it is... Now let me just get rid of the Discord. That's some jokes photos, I can't lie. Okay, guys, I'm trusting you to keep it cool in there. And I'm also relying on the moderators to keep it cool in there. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get back to here. Beautiful. Okay, guys, let's get going again. It is now 20 past, and we're getting back in with a hard one, to be honest. Yeah, we're getting back in with a hard one. Question 15. Let's get cooking. Question number 15. Back to the maths, guys. Back to the maths. Famalam Cuz, can you put a message on YouTube for me if you're in the chat? Or if you're, yeah, if you're here. A couple of people asking to resend the Discord link. Okay, a couple of people saying the Discord server's not good. Okay, guys, looks like the Discord has not gone down so well. This looks like the Discord has not gone down so well. So I'm going to deal with that now while you guys are working on this, and then we'll get going again. Um, and I can actually link in you if you're okay. Just says too much spamming. Okay, guys, I'm just going to. Okay, guys, I think I've locked it off now. Oh, Lincoln you says I'm cool shadows on the server. Awesome, okay. Ah, I see it. Cool shadows. There we go. More. Um, more. Or add roles. Moderator. Okay, cool shadows. I've made you a mod. I've made you a mod. Hopefully that's working now. I've also made the photos channel private. Oh, okay. Oh god, that was a bit of a disaster. I think for now I'm just gonna make all the channels private. Okay, guys, let me know in the chat now. I've tried to make all of the channels private, so nobody can put stuff in there. Has that fixed it? Low key, I'm trying to do the maths and also moderate a bunch of. Okay, the one who knocks is the server essentially shut down for now. I'm gonna fix it all later. I'll get everything running up again. But for now, while we're live, Samuel said we can't see them now. Okay, good. Guys, if anybody was traumatized by inappropriate stuff, we're sorted. Ari said it worked. Okay, guys, let me know in the chat, please. Everybody spam, is it fixed? Just because I want to make sure. Then I can move on in peace without worrying about inappropriate stuff going down. Worked. Okay, guys, let me know. Samuel says all good. Guys, I know we've been off the maths for a while now. We've just been on disaster control. Okay, Samuel said you can relax. Woof. Okay, guys, I was starting to panic low key. I know Discord's an unruly place. I know it's an unruly place. And that is exactly why I was afraid to do that. Okay, TGVR said it's big up. Okay, guys, let's close that chapter. Let's put a W in the chat for TGVR, and then we're going to get cracking again. It's fixed young Cuzzle. Lock TF in with the maths. Come on, let's go. Lincoln News got the W. Morpheus with the W. Ari Patel with the W. Who said maths is boring, guys? Who said maths is boring? Okay. W, guys. Let's get going again. So the question says, and this is a tough one. I think it's 4 marks. Yeah, it's 4 marks. Okay. The ratio of Marta's hourly pay to Khalid's hourly pay is 6-5. Both Marta and Khalid get an increase of £1.50 in their hourly pay. The ratio of Marta's hourly pay to Khalid's hourly pay after this increase is 13-11. Work out the hourly pay before the increase for Marta and Khalid. Well, what do we know? We have a couple of pieces of information here. We know that first, the ratio of Marta to Khalid is 6-5. So the ratio is 6-5. If we wanted to write this in terms of algebra, then what could we say? We could say that Martha, if we wanted, or Marta, if we wanted to write it in terms of algebra, we could say Marta is 6x, and if Marta is 6x, what's Khalid? Khalid, if Marta is 6x, would be 5x. Now, why is this helpful? Well, this is before 6-5, or in other words, 6x to 5x. What is it after? Well, after, Marta and Khalid get an increase of £1.50. So after, so this was before, let me just make this super clear because I know this is going to be hard to understand. So before it's like this. After, what's the situation? Well, after the increase, Marta's going to have 6x plus £1.50. So 6x plus £1.50 or £1.5. And Khalid's going to have 5x plus £1.50. Now, we've also been told that the ratio after the increase is 13-11. 13-11. Now, because we've been able to have two pieces of information, the first one allowed us to set up the first ratio, the second one allowed us to set up the second ratio, we're going to be able to set up an equation. How? Well, from this second piece of information, we know that the ratio of 6x plus 1.5 to 5x plus 1.5 is 13-11. What does that mean? Well, it means that if we times our 6x plus 1.5 by 11, it's going to be equal to 13 times the one on the right. So if we times the one on the left by 11, it's going to be the same as timesing the one on the right by 13. So we can essentially set up an equation where we say that 13 times our right-hand side, 5x plus 1.5, is equal to 11 times by our left-hand side, 6x plus 1.5. 6x plus 1.5. Now we have an equation which we can rearrange and solve for x. We're going to start off by expanding these brackets. 13 times by 5x is going to be 65x. 13 times 1.5, I don't want to mess this up, so I'll do it on the calculator. Oh, I'm scribbling all over the place. 13 times 1.5. 13 times 1.5 is going to be 19.5. Is going to be equal to 11 times 6x is 66x plus 11 times 1.5. Again, I'll do it on the calculator. We're going to have 16.5. Now we can rearrange and solve for x. We're going to move the 11.5 to the left. 19.5 subtract 16.5 is going to be 3. And we're going to move the 65x to the right. 66x minus 65x is going to be 1x. So we're going to get x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3. Now going back, how can we work this out? Well, we started off by saying that Martha's was 6x and Khalid's was 5x. So if x is 3, Martha is going to have 6 times 3, which is 18. And Khalid is going to have 5 times 3, which is 15. So we're going to have £18 for Martha and £15 for Khalid. Difficult question there, guys. Difficult question. Going to have a quick look at the chat. Good job, Marashi Patel. Not an easy question there. Okay. Any questions? Can't see any at the moment. Guys, let me know. Did it make sense? guys, awesome. Yuko said it makes sense now. Jaslyn said it makes sense now. Alex said, now I understand. Yeah, fantastic, guys. Daily Increase said, didn't understand it, but I do now. Guys, that is so good. I'm so glad to hear that because that's a hard one. That's a really hard one. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question 16. Let me just double check how many questions there are. We're going to do the whole paper, guys. Don't worry. Okay, 22 questions. Nice. Question 16 up next. I'm just going to go through this one, to be honest, because I'll do it kind of interactively, actually. Because I know it's a bit hard without the paper printed out. Let's have a look. A shop manager wants to advertise special offers on social media platforms. The manager asks 100 customers which type of type A, type B, or type C they use. And we're going to have to basically complete the Venn diagram. We're told of these customers that 4 use all 3 types. So we can say that 4 customers use A, B, and C. We're going to have a 4 in the middle. Next up, we're told that 16 do not use any type of A, B, or C. So we can put 16 on the outside of the A, outside of the B, outside of the C. Next up, 8 use both type A and type B, but not type C. So A and B, but not C, that's going to go in here, the section which has, was 8, right? So 8 use type A and type B, but not type C, because this is in A and B, but it's not in C. Next up, 14 use both type B and C. So what does that tell us? Does it tell us that we have 14 here? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Why? Because we have these 4 here as well. So 14 in total use B and C. 4 of them are in the group which use A, B, and C. So for this one, we're going to do 14 minus our 4, which gives us 10. Next up, we're told that, so 14 use B and C, we did that bit. Next up, we're told that 62 in total use type A, and we're told that all 20 who use type C also use at least one of type A and B. So 62 in total use type A. We can't actually write anything in at the moment using that information. Why? Well, because we don't know whether it goes in this section, which is A only, or this section. But let's have a look at this next one. All 20 who use type C also use at least one of A or B. So that means that there's 0 people who only use C, because all 20 use at least A or B, and 20 in total. So we're going to do the 20 minus the 4 and the 10 who are in the A and the B here to give 6 here. So 20 in total using C, 4 of them here, 10 of them here, so 6 left over to go here. Now we know that 62 in total use type A, and we know how many of them are in there, so we can work out the number in A only by doing our 62 minus our 8 minus our 4 minus our 6, which I'm going to do on the calculator for speed. We're going to get 44. Okay. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5. Actually, no, you don't need 5 seconds to screenshot this one. I think there's going to be a type B. Yeah, nice. Part B says, one of the customers is chosen at random. Given that they choose type A, find the probability that they also choose B. Let me know this one in the chat, guys. Let me know this one in the chat. Okay. A couple of people saying 12 over all of it. QDG says 12, Kira 12, but 12 with what? We need a probability, remember, guys. It has to be less than 1. Ah, guys. Yeah, you're right. I forgot to put a number in B. I forgot to put a number in B. Guys, that's my mistake. What we're going to have to do is subtract all of our numbers from 100. We're going to have to subtract all of our numbers from 100. I just saw in the chat that I forgot to fill in B. So we're going to do 100 minus 16 minus 44 minus 8 minus 4 minus 6 minus 10 and we're going to get 12. That's completely my bad, guys. I just forgot to write that 12 in there. So what's the probability that a person who chooses type A also chooses type B? We're not actually going to need it for this. So how do we do this? Well, we need to find the probability of choosing type B given that we choose type A. So how many of us choose type A? We know we're in circle A. So this is who we're choosing from. How many choose B out of those? Well, it's going to be 12. So we need to work out how many we have in total and do 12 who choose B out of that number. So how many do we have in total? It's going to be 44 plus 8 plus 10 is going to be 62. 12 of them are in B, so it's going to be 12 over 62. So given that they choose A, so given that we're in shape A, how many choose B? Or what's the probability of choosing B? It's going to be 12 over 62. Good job, Shrinker. Good job, Imogen. Good job, Ari Patel. Great job, guys. Pranav says, can you simplify? You absolutely can. If you did simplify, you can just type it into the calculator. 12 divided 62. It's going to be 6 over 31. You don't have to simplify that, but you can because it doesn't say to give it in its simplest form. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to question number 17. We have a 4 marker up for grabs here. Looks like a pretty challenging question. I'm going to give a few minutes to do it. Okay, guys, I can see those emails coming through. I'm going to take my email address off there for now. I'm going to put the review link back up. And then we're going to spend a bit of time at the end sorting stuff out. This one, guys, maybe we'll do in a few steps because it is a tough one. So I'm just going to start waffling on it. And if you want to, you can ignore what I'm saying. Let's have a look. Question 17. A solid cone is joined to a solid hemisphere to make the solid T shown below. The diameter of the base of the cone is 7 centimeters. The diameter of the hemisphere is 7 centimeters. The volume of T is 120 pi. The total height of T is Y. Calculate the value of Y. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Well, we can think of Y as consisting of 2 portions. This portion down here at the bottom and this portion up at the top. We know that this portion at the bottom is a hemisphere with a diameter of 7. So this length here is actually going to be 3.5. This length here is going to be 3.5 because it's like the radius of the sphere, right? So really the question is saying, what is the height? What is the height? Well, how can we think of this? How can we think of this? We know that the total volume is 120 pi. And we have formulas for the volume of the sphere and the volume of the cone. So if we add together the volume of the cone and the volume of the hemisphere, we're going to get 120 pi. So the first thing to think about then is converting this volume of a sphere formula into the volume of a hemisphere. Now we could work it out and divide it by 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as volume of a hemisphere. So volume of hemisphere equals 2 over 3 pi r cubed. So what we did there was we divided that formula by 2 It just swapped that 4 over 3 for 2 over 3. Now what can we do? Well, we can set up an equation for the overall volume. We know that the volume of T, which is 120 pi, is the volume of the hemisphere plus the volume of the cone. The first thing to note as well is that the radius, if the diameter is 5, I said that, but I didn't write it down. The radius is 3.5. The radius is 3.5. So let's go ahead and set up an equation. We're going to have the volume of the cone. So that is going to be 1 over 3 pi r squared h plus the volume of the hemisphere. That's going to be 2 over 3 pi r cubed is equal to 120 pi. This is an equation which we can now solve for h, and that h is going to give us the height of the cone, which is what we're looking for, right, guys? How are we going to do it? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute r equals 3.5 into my formula. So we're going to have 1 over 3 times pi times 3.5 squared times h plus 2 over 3 times pi times 3.5 cubed equals 120 pi. The next thing that I spot is that all of my terms have a common factor of pi. So I can divide every term through by pi. So I'm going to get rid of the pi here. I'm going to get rid of it here. And I'm going to get rid of it here. We could have divided by pi there. We could have divided it by pi there. And I just wrote these multiplications in here to make things a little bit clearer for us. Next step, what are we going to do? Well, we can calculate 1 over 3 times by 3.5 squared. At the end of the day, the question wants us to write our answer in 3 significant figures, so we don't have to keep all these fractions and stuff in here. So 1 over 3 times 3.5 squared, I'm going to do on the calculator. 1 over 3 times 3.5 squared, and that is going to be 49 over 12. And that was connected to our h. Plus, let's do 2 over 3 times 3.5 cubed. 2 over 3 times 3.5 to the power of 3 is 343 over 12. And that's going to be everything, yeah, and that's equal to 120. Now what I can do is I can minus 343 over 12 from both sides. So we're going to minus 343 over 12 from both sides because now we're rearranging for h. So we're going to have 49 over 12h is equal to 120 minus 343 over 12. That is going to be equal to 1097 over 12. Now what we can do is we can divide both sides by 49 over 12 to get the h on its own. So I'll change color. We're going to go up here. I'm going to do h is equal to 1097 over 12 divided by 49 over 12. We're going to get h is equal to fraction 1097 over 12 divided by 49 over 12. Type that into the calculator and changing it into a decimal, I'm going to get 22 point. Let's go for 388, and that's to 3 decimal places. 22.388 to 3 decimal places. Now working out the value of y, well, we're going to have to add this to the 3.5 down here to get the overall height. So we're going to do 22.388. I'm going to just write this up here. So 22.388 plus 3.5. And that is going to be our final answer of 25.88, etc. Now the question does say to give our answer to 3 significant figures. So it's going to be 25.9. Chat, talk to me, guys. Talk to me. How was that one? Did it make sense when I went through it? I know it was tough. I know it was long. I know it was tough. I know it was long. Okay, a lot of people saying it makes sense now. Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, guys, that's so good to hear. Haha, that's so good to hear. Good job, Will. Good job, Jaden. Good job, Matota. Guys, I'm going to be a bit annoying. I'm going to be a bit annoying. Anybody who already sent me a photo of your setup, I'm going to ask you to take another photo. So I realized that on the last photo, there was nothing written on the screen. There was nothing written on the screen. So if it's not too annoying, I'm going to ask you at the end of the session to actually send another photo. So if you could take a photo now while it looks cool while there's everything on the screen, and then send me that photo at the end to my email address, I would really appreciate that. The email is matt@mygcsemaths.com. The email is matt@mygcsemaths.com. I just know, guys, it's going to look so much cooler with this one. matt@mygcsemaths.com. I'm going to put it in the chat now. But you can do it at the end of the session, guys. I'm gonna spend a bit of time at the end. Just take the photo now. Take the photo now while it's on the screen. I'll do a pose. And then send it at the end. Pranav's got that little chef out. Come on. Good to see, guys. Okay, let's move on. Actually, no, I'm gonna give 15 more seconds. 15 more seconds to screenshot and to take a photo if you'd like to. And then we're gonna get going again. I can see since I locked it down, nobody else has put stuff in the Discord, which is amazing. Because I was starting to panic low key. The one who knocks says, "What notes should I be making, if any?" Thank you very much for the donation. The notes you should be making is you should be trying your best to do the questions as I'm doing them. I'm going to move it down now, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's have a look. I didn't know that was going to be a part B. It says the diameter of the base of the cone and the diameter of the hemisphere both are increased by the same amount. Assuming the volume of T does not change, explain what would happen to our answer. Well, if the diameter increased, what would it mean? Well, if the diameter increased, it would mean it was wider at the bottom. So if the overall volume was the same, it would have to be shorter because because it would be fatter. So it's like if the volume stayed the same and it got fatter, it would have to get shorter because making it fatter or wider, I don't know what the right way to say it is. If you make it wider, then the volume goes up. So to keep the volume the same, you're going to have to make it shorter. Okay. I'm not going to write it just to save a bit of time. 4 marks up for grabs. This one looks like it could be sine cosine. I'm going to give a few minutes to do it, and then I will go through the answer. Not many questions to go. We're doing a fantastic job, team. Hang in there. Thank you very much to those of you who are sending images of the setups. I think it's super cool, guys. It's so cool to see like how you guys are watching it. Thank you to the chat, by the way, for answering questions. You guys are helping each other, which is amazing to see. Question 18. Another minute. Actually, I'm going to give a hint right now in case you've struggled to get into the question. So listen carefully if you need the hint, if you're not into it yet. So we have 2 triangles. We need to calculate the length of QS, this side over here, giving our answer to 3 sig fig. We can see we have an angle here, an angle here. If we need this one, let's call it X for now. Well, we'd have 2 pairs of opposites, so we could use the sine rule. If only we had this side length here, let's call it Y. How could we work out this side length here? Well, now we have a situation where we have a non-right angled triangle. We have an angle, we have 2 sides either side, and we want the opposite side. This is a classic cosine rule situation. What does the cosine rule tell us? It tells us that a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a, where crucially, a is the angle, or big A is the angle, small a is the side opposite it, and a and b are our two other sides. So we can substitute in y for small a, 9.4 and 11 for small b and small c, 27 for big A. So we're going to have y squared equals 11 squared plus 9.4 squared minus 2 times 11 times 9.4 times cos of 27. Now what we can do is we can type all of this into the calculator and simplify. We're going to have 11 squared plus 9.4 squared minus 2 times 9.4 times 11 times cos of 27. We bring that into the calculator. We're going to get y squared is equal to 25.099. So it's pretty clear that we can just round it to 1. Well, it does say give to 3 sig fig, so let's go a little bit further. So 25.099, etc. Finding the value of y then, well, we can square root that. So y is going to be the square root of 25.099, etc. Type that into the calculator, square root of my answer, and I get 5.0099. 5.0099, etc. So I'm just going to round that to 5.01. So now we've got this side length here, 5.01. How are we going to work out the value of x? Now I'm going to pause and give a little bit more time, because I did say that I would only go through part of it. Ian says sine rule, sue. Yep, if you said sine rule, you are absolutely right. I have no idea what that means, no motives, but thank you very much for the donation. So, how are we going to do it, guys? We can see that we have another non-right angle triangle. This time we're working with two pairs of opposites. So we're going to use the sine rule. What's the formula for the sine rule where we're working out a side length? It's A over sine A equals B over sine B, where A and B lowercase are our side lengths and A and B uppercase are our corresponding angles. So I'm going to come down here and work it out down here. So we're going to call our x A. So we're going to have x over sine of 88, which is the angle opposite it, is equal to, we're going to have 5.01 on the top over sine of 41 on the bottom. So we substitute all of our values into our equation. Now we can rearrange for x. To get the x on its own at the moment, it's being divided by sine 88. So we're going to multiply both sides by sine 88. Let's see what we get. Fraction 5.01 over sine 41, close bracket, times by sine 88, close bracket, 7.63 is going to be our answer. 7.63 is going to be our answer. Okay, guys, what do we think? Talk to me in the chat. How do we find that one? Let's have a look. Did somebody say it's lagging a bit, guys? Let me know in the chat. Have you got lag, or can you hear me clearly? See me clearly? Samuel says no lag. Val-Ili, no lag. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Jesslyn says no lag. Jaden, no lag. Awesome. Wicked, wicked. Morpheus says the code had to be refreshed. Awesome. Well done, Morpheus. Okay, guys, let's move on then to question number 19. And I'm going to give you not too long for these ones. A couple of people are saying there's a delay. So I know there's not a delay because I can tell from the chat. But if you're a little bit behind, you can refresh the stream. It will catch you back up to the start. Okay, a lot of people saying this was Edexcel paper 1. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's just go through it then, because I know a lot of you are doing Edexcel. Other people are saying, does the stream finish at 7? Nope, I'm going to go a little bit longer, guys. I'm going to go longer. We're going to finish this paper. So if you're doing AQA, make sure you watch carefully. So the functions g and h are such that g of x is this and h of x is this. Part A says find g of 16. How do we find a function of a specific value? Well, what have we done to go from g of x to g of 16? We've swapped the x for 16. So that's what we need to do. So we do g of 16 is equal to the cube root of, we're going to swap the x for 16. So 2 times x, we're going to do 2 times 16 and minus a 5. And we can literally type it into the calculator exactly like this. So the cube root of 2 times 16 minus 5, we're going to get 3. We're going to get 3. Could have worked that out without calculator, but there's no reason to. Okay, let's have a look. Part B. Find hg of minus 1 of x. Give your answer in terms of x in its simplest form. Quite a long one. How many marks? 3 marks. What are we going to do? Well, what this means is that we need to take our g of minus 1 of x function, so our inverse function of g, and plug it into h. So there's 2 steps to this. Step number 1, find the inverse function of g. Step number 2, swap it for x in h of x. So how do we find inverse of g? I'm going to start off by writing out y is equal to my function. So y is equal to the cubed root of 2x minus 5. It was minus, right? Yep, perfect. Now, this is a little bit of a set method that we just memorized. So how do we do it? We set y equal to our function, then we rearrange this for x. Once we've done that, I'll show you what to do. So step number 1, how do we rearrange this for x? At the moment, the whole of the right-hand side is being cube rooted, so we're going to cube both sides. So cube the left and cube the right. We're going to have y cubed equals 2x minus 5. Now, how do we get the x on its own? Step number 1, we're going to add 5 to both sides. Add 5, add 5. We're going to have y cubed plus 5 is equal to 2x. Final step to get the x on its own, we're going to divide both sides by 2, divide 2, divide 2. Y cubed plus 5 over 2 is going to be equal to x. Now that we've got this far, how do we find our inverse function? Well, we just need to swap our y for x and our x for g minus 1 of x. So we can say g to the minus 1 of x is equal to the whole of the left-hand side, but we just swap the y for x, so x cubed plus 5 over 2. Now, we need to write or find h g to the minus 1. So we now know that g to the minus 1 of x is x cubed plus 5 over 2. We also know from earlier that h of x is 1 over x. So what we need to do is take our g of x, or g minus 1 of x, and plug it into h. So we're going to take this and swap it for the x. So we're going to have h g minus 1 of x is equal to 1 over, and we're going to swap the x for x cubed plus 5 over 2. Now, the question does say give it in its simplest form. A fraction over a fraction, or a number over a fraction in a fraction. How are we going to simplify? When we do 1 over a fraction, what do? We flip the fraction. When we do 1 over a fraction, what do? We flip the fraction. So we're going to have 2 over x cubed plus 5. So 1 over x cubed plus 5 over 2. We flip the fraction. We find the reciprocal. There's a couple of different ways to think about it, but that's the easiest one. Okay, guys, it does look like a couple of people might need to be muted. How's it going, chat? Yeah, ex-Turk, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to for that one. Yeah, nicely done, Alina. Good job, Intensive says, yes, I got that one. Nicely done. Okay. Okay, guys, well done. If you did get it, it was a tough question. I'm going to put this one on the screen. 4 marks up for grabs. Circle theorems. Then I'm going to just make sure the chat's running smooth. Okay. Hey, mods, can you let me know how stuff's running in the chat? Are we all good? Neve said, Matt, you should make a video featuring our setups to motivate people to revise maths. That would be really cool, actually. Guys, I really love these photos. I'm going to ask again at the end. I'm going to do a little bit of a chill Q&A, and I'll ask. That would be really cool. And if anybody else has got any good ideas like that, then yeah, I'm keen to know as well. Okay, guys, we're going to do this in a few stages. We're going to do this in a few stages. Thank you, Lincoln You, holding it down. Appreciate it very much. Anybody who is currently in the chat and is not doing this question, let's get a quick W in the chat for the moderators. Holding it down for everybody. Let's get a quick W in the chat for the moderators. Thank you, Golden Dominic. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Modux. Thank you, Yes. Thank you, James. Thank you, NJ. Thank you, Kate. All of the moderators, guys, are student moderators. They're all volunteer student moderators. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, awesome. Neve says, W Lincoln You. Yeah. Thank you, QDG Minx. I'm going to think about it this evening if I'm going to add any moderators for tomorrow. Okay, guys, let's get going with this one then. Let's get going with this one. The question says A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of a circle, center O. ADE and BCE are straight lines. We're asked to work out the size of angle CDE. So at the end of the day, at the end of all of this, we're going to be working out this angle here. So CDE is going to be this angle here. Let's call it X. Let's call it X. So how can we think about this? Well, we're going to have to use a bunch of our circle theorems here. My first question is this. Guys, what's this angle here? What's this angle here? What's this angle here? Lots of different answers, or a few different answers, but mainly everybody's saying 66. Pranav, Jay, yes. Tom Ray, Luke, Intensive, Alina, Morpheus, Donzi. Yep, you guys are saying 66, and you are right. It does say give a reason for each stage of your working. What's the reason, guys? Drop it in the chat for me. Drop it in the chat. What's the reason that this is 66? I'm just going to write it a bit clearer. What's the reason? Drop it in the chat for me. Yes, Ian was first there. Angle in the circumference is half the angle at the center. Good. Or angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. Yeah, absolutely. So what we can see here, guys, is we have the 2 points B and D, which are on the circumference of the circle. BOD is at the center. BAD is at the circumference. So it's going to be double. Next up, we're going to work out this angle down here. Guys, what's this angle down here? And at the same time, what's the reason? What's the angle? What's the reason? Talk to me. What's the angle? What's the reason? More answers going in the chat for this one. Different opinions for this. We have 114, we have 132, we have 48. But definitely 114 is the most common. If you said 114, guys, well done. You're actually right. If you didn't, hopefully this makes sense. Listen up. So 114, why is it 114? Well, it's 114 because the opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180. We can see that ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. It's a four-sided shape with all points on the circumference, and the opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral always add up to 180. So opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add to 180, and therefore we did, I'll just put it in brackets, 180. Oh, let me write that a bit more clearly. 180 minus 66 equals 114. Okay, next up we can work out this angle here. I'm not going to ask people to drop that in the chat. I'll have a quick look because I'm sure people will have done already. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. So this angle here, what do we know? We know angles on a straight line add to 180. So we know this one is going to be 180 minus 114, which is going to be 66. Finally, we can work out x using the fact that the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So for this one here, we can now use angles in a triangle add to 180 because we have triangle ECD. So we can do 180 minus 66 minus 16, which I'll do on the calculator just for speed. 180 minus 66 minus 16. We're going to get 98 as our answer. Guys, a long old question there. A long old question there. If you got it, well done. Woof. Well done, Softly. Well done, Mamsy. Well done, User. Lol. Vale said, are you allowed to write on the diagram in the exam and still get the marks, or are you not allowed? Please, someone answer. You can write on the diagram. I would recommend writing down here, but at the end of the day, what the examiner gets is they get a scan of what's inside of the area. So that's why it says don't write on the area. So if they can see it on the page, then they'll give you the marks, as long as you put it clearly. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question 21. This one I will just go through because it's a bit annoying, to be honest. And then we'll finish up with our last question of the day, question 22. I can see the one who knocks made a donation saying, sir, can you please do predicted paper walkthroughs? So two things. Number one, I actually can't. So they're copyright protected. So, you know, there's like the Hannah Kettle maths ones, there's the first class maths ones, both of which I do recommend. I can't do run throughs of them because they're copyrighted, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. The other thing is, I still swear by past papers, guys. I still swear by past papers. Honestly, it's just better. It's just better. QDG Mink says W donator. Guys, yeah, let's get a quick W in the chat for the donator. The one who knocks again. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. NJ said, Matt, we need the first class maths and my GCSE maths collab. I'll try and cook that up. I'll ask him because we message back and forth and we're in contact quite a lot. So yeah, I'll try and set that up. We almost did something actually. Yeah, guys. Bonzi said, let me donate 10,000. I wish. Okay, question 21. The graph of y equals f of x is shown on the grid below. On the grid above, sketch the graph of y equals f of minus x. How do we do this? Well, here we've swapped x for minus x. What that means is we're going to reflect our graph in the y-axis. So everything that was a positive value of x is going to become a negative value and vice versa. So this point, for example, is currently 2 to the right of the y-axis, so it's going to end up 2 to the left of it. This point is 1 to the left, so it's going to end up 1 to the right. This point is 3 to the left, so it's going to end up 3 to the right. This point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So it's going to end up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right. And then what we can do is we can join these with a nice smooth curve. I'm going to do my best to do this, even though it's quite hard, to be honest, on the device that I'm using. Okay, low key, we did a very good job. Yeah, beautiful. There we go. So that's going to be our answer to this one, guys. It's a reflection in the y-axis. Now, this one is annoying. Not many people at all are going to get this. Let's have a look. It says, here is a sketch of the graph of y equals tan x. So it has the regular y equals tan x shape. What does tan x look like? Well, remember, we have a key point every 90 degrees. So 90, 180, 270, 360, 450. And we could go minus as well if we wanted to. It says the graph of y equals tan x is translated to give y equals g of x. Following the translation, the point Q shown on the graph above moves to the point R. R has coordinates 90, -5. So R is going to be somewhere down here. But the bottom line is this point has gone from here to 90, -5. So how can we think about this? Well, the first thing we're going to have to know is, where did our point start off? Where did our point start off? So Q currently, we can see, is directly below the 360. So it's 360 across. And how many units up or down is it? Well, it's currently on the x-axis, so it's 0 units up or down. So we're going to have 360 across and 0 units up or down. Now, where does it end up? It ends up at the point 90, -5. So where's it moved? Where's the translation taken it? Well, we've gone from 360 to 90. So we've gone 270 to the left. And we've gone from 0 to -5. So we've gone 5 units down. So we need to take our tan of x function and write in it the thing which is going to turn it into going 270 to the left and 5 units down. Remember, when we do a graphical transformation, to move it in the x direction, we add or subtract something directly to the x, and to move in the y direction, we add or subtract it on the end. So our answer is going to be y equals tan of x plus 270 minus 5. X plus 270 minus 5. Guys, even if you're aiming for a grade 8, to be honest, even if you're aiming for a grade 9 and you didn't get that, please don't stress. That's a super annoying and specific question. Super annoying and specific. To go 270 to the left, we add 270 directly to the x, and to go 5 down, we subtract 5 from the end. Guys, let me know in the chat. Did that make sense for anybody? Did we get that one? Let me know. Let me know. Logesh says, I get it now. Thanks. Awesome. Vampire Side said, I skipped these questions anyway. Fair play. Fair play. I don't blame you. QGG said, I'm uncut. Thanks. Hey, that's good to hear. Tom Ray said, no clue, mate. Guys, if you didn't get that one, do not stress. Do not stress. Really specific, really niche. And also, I would even say that's a grade 9 question. Most grade 8 students are not getting that, I'll say. Final question of the day. Final question of the day. Softly said, ban random. Yeah, I've seen the message get muted a lot, so I will ban them. Hide user on the channel. Well, I need to make sure that was the right user. So I undid it, and I'll do it again if something else comes up. Okay, question 22. 5 marks up for grabs. Guys, I'm going to give you 4 minutes, and then I'm going to go through it. It's a really good question to revise, I'll say. This is a really good question to revise. Loads of topics in one. Loads of topics in one. Vampire Site said this one's actually good for a last. Yep. And guys, if you're leaving, if you're thinking this is the last question and I'm not going to do this, please leave that review before you go. Please leave that review before you go. At the end of today's session, I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A. I want you guys to be chilled out ahead of tomorrow, which is going to be a big day of revision. So we'll do a little bit of a Q&A. I'm gonna put my email back in so you can send me those photos that we mentioned. And then yeah, answer any questions that you have. Neve said, yes, 4 minutes where I'll just sit and do nothing before you run through it. Maybe I'll give a little bit less time. Guys, sometimes I forget I'm on camera. I'm sitting here like going like this. I forget that I'm on camera. Tom Ray said this one has fully lost me. I know a lot of people are going to be feeling that way. A lot of people are going to be feeling that way. What I will say is solve the quadratics. What I will say is solve the quadratics. Umar said I got x is greater than 8 or x is less than -7. Tell me if I'm right. I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing in my head, so I think you are right. I think you are right. SW said, please don't forget quadratic is 2 values. True, true. Okay, guys, drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me, and we're going to go through it. Oh, Neve, by the way, thank you so much. I think it was you that commented yesterday with the advice on how to fix my throat. I took your advice, and it really helped me, so thank you. It really helped me, so thank you. How many others do we have on the Tickers Talkers at the moment? Okay, 260 others, awesome. Guys, if you are watching on the TikTok and you think I'm not responding to the chat, I'm focused on the YouTube chat. Okay, Logesh is ready, Pranav's ready, Cat Twix is ready. Guys, let's get this one done. Question 22. It says, find algebraically the set of values of x for which x squared minus 49 is greater than 0, and also 5x squared minus 31x minus 72 is greater than 0. What are we going to do? Well, here we have two quadratic inequalities. We're going to solve the first one. We're going to get a range of values for x. We're going to solve the second one, get a range of values for x, and find the overlapping regions. Let's do it. So, how do we solve a quadratic inequality? Step number one, we're going to sketch it. We're going to sketch it. How do we sketch it? Well, we need to find the x-intercepts of what it would be. So how do we do it? Well, x squared minus 49 is greater than 0. Here we have a quadratic. And here we also have the difference of two squares. X squared minus 49. X squared is obviously a square number minus another square number. So how do we factorize it? Well, we can write this as x plus 7 times by x minus 7 is greater than 0. Because 7 times minus 7 is 49, and 7 minus 7 is 0. And now to solve it, we're going to sketch it on a graph. So we have our x-axis, and we have a y-axis. We have minus 7. We have plus 7. It's going to look something like this. Now we need the region on the graph where this is greater than 0. So the graph is above 0. Where's it above 0? Well, it's above 0 here and here. We need the graph to be above the axes. So what are the values of x for those regions? Well, either x is greater than 7 for this value over here. And remember, we read this as x is greater than 7 because x eats the crocodile eats the bigger number. And then x is less than -7. So they're going to be the two regions for this graph. Now, what about this one? 5x squared minus 31x minus 72 is greater than 0. Again, we're going to sketch it. Now, solving this quadratic, we can try to factorize this, but I think we're probably going to end up using the formula. We're probably going to end up using the formula. Let's see, guys. Can it be factorized? Can it be factorized? So the first thing I will say, though, as I'm solving this with the formula, is you absolutely, sorry, as I'm factorizing this, or trying to, I don't know how it's going to go yet, is we can use the quadratic formula. So 5x. Oh, I've got it already. Wow. I think. Minus 36 plus 1. Is that it? Not 1, I didn't mean 1. No, okay, I haven't got it. Let's try again. 36 and 2. 8 and 9. 8 and 9. Okay, what do we think, guys? Minus 8, 9. I think we got it. Minus 40. Yep, we got it. Oh, did you guys do it quicker than me? I don't know, maybe you did, but basically, we can either solve this by factorizing like this, and I'm going to explain how I did this in a second, or we could use the quadratic formula. So how did I know it would be 5x plus 9 and x minus 8? Well, the reason is because the two numbers, or the two numbers with the x's next to them, need to times to make 5x squared. Now, 5 and 1 is the only combination there. So we know it's going to be a 5x and an x. Now we need two numbers which times to make minus 72 and add to make negative 31x when one of them is times by 5x and one of them is times by 1x. Here we're going to do 5x times by minus 8 gives minus 40x, and then 9 times by x gives 9x, and minus 40x plus 9x is going to be minus 31x. We could have also done this using the quadratic formula. So the other thing we could have done is used minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and this would give us our two values. So either way is okay there. I just wanted to go through that because sometimes they're going to force you to do it that way. So what is going to be our two values of x for our intercepts? Well, if it factorizes to this, the solutions would be reversing the sign x equals 8 or x equals minus 9 over 5. X equals minus 9 over 5 or x equals 8. The way that we get these is we set these brackets equal to 0. So if x minus 8 is equal to 0, then x is equal to 8. If 5x plus 9 is equal to 0, then x is equal to minus 9 over 5. So we can sketch this on. I'll go back to blue. So minus 9 over 5 and 8. Again, we're going to need the region where this is greater than 0. So we're either going to be to the left of here or to the right of here. So either x is less than minus 9 over 5 or x is greater than 8. So now we have two sets of inequalities. So x is greater than 7 or x is less than minus 7 and I should say, x is less than minus 9 over 5 or x is greater than 8. Now, we need to find the overlapping region of these. We need to find the most extreme regions. So, what's more extreme on the upper end? X being greater than 7 or x being greater than 8? Well, this is more extreme. This is more extreme. Being greater than 8 is more extreme than being greater than 9. So, on the upper end, we say x is greater than 8. And then on the lower end, which is more extreme, being less than minus 7 or being less than minus 9 over 5? Well, minus 9 over 5 is minus 1.8. You could do that on the calculator. So less than minus 7 is more extreme. So or x is less than minus 7. And this is going to be our final answer. Two things. Number one, guys, let me know. Any questions for that one? Did that make sense for us? Did we get it? Was there anybody who didn't get it, but it makes sense for now? Let's see. Logesh says, I get it now. Matilda says, you should do a live for results day. I'm 100% going to do that, guys. 100%. Elena said, I get it now. Pranav said, bye, Sir Wagwan. Cat Twix says, I understand it now. Guys, fantastic job. Fantastic job. I know, and by the way, I know a lot of you still don't get that, guys. That's a grade 9 question. If you gave it a go. It still makes no sense. Please do not stress. Please do not stress. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Okay, next thing, guys, what do we do at the end of every session? Today I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A, 10, 15 minutes. So stick around, please stick around, because I'm going to ask you for something as well, those photos. But guys, at the end of every session, because I know a lot of you just want to go, what do we do? Drop it in the chat for me, what do we do? Ari Patel's got it. Kuba's got it. Academy's got it. Neve's got it. Says party way. Come on, exactly. Guys, what we do is we spam the chat full of as many good vibe emojis as we can. I want dancer emojis, disco emojis, party emojis. And Neve's got it. Valili's got it. NJ's got it. Especially the My GCSE Maths go-to what's signature emoji, the lightning bolt emoji. Guys, as I said last night, as I said the night before, GCSEs are tough, man. GCSEs are stressful, they're tough. You got big expectations of yourself. Some of you have got family expectations. Doing the revision is one thing, but it's also important to take the time to appreciate the work you're putting in. It's not easy to focus, especially with TikToks, all this different stuff, which makes it hard to focus in modern day life. I'm not going to rant on it now, but guys, it's difficult. However, you're out here putting in the work. We've just done 2.5 hours of this paper. So guys, please take a moment to appreciate yourself and the work that you're putting in. The second part, guys, give yourself a little pat on the back. Give yourself a little pat on the back. If I can do it in front of all of you, like making myself look silly, you can do it too in the comfort of your home or whatever you're doing. Okay, next thing. Before we call it a day is, or before I speak about the photos, guys, if you haven't already, I'm going to ask to please, please, please leave a Google review. You know the drill. I've said it a bunch of times. I really want to keep doing the free live streams. The only way I can do free live streams is if I can grow this big enough and get to enough people. And the best thing at the moment you can do to help me with that is leaving a little cheeky Google review. So use the link which is in the chat. If you're watching on the TikTok, it's on my profile page. If you're watching on the YouTube, it's pinned in the chat. And I'm going to be giving shout outs to everybody who leaves a review. And some of them have been really nice messages, which, guys, the messages mean more than the 5 stars, honestly. The messages mean more because this is something I can look back on low key. So I'll give a quick shout out to anybody who leaves one now. I can see quite a few people did it earlier. Thank you, Ewan. Thank you, Umer. Haha, thank you, Vampire Site. Appreciate that very much. Let's get a W in the chat for Vampire Site. Thank you very much. Just gave a little £2 donation. Thank you, thank you. The one who knocks, thank you for the review. Galaxy Craft as well. Mojda, Mahan, Kids, or Kidist, Bilal. Guys, thank you so much. Somebody left a 3-star review, which is a bit annoying, but the game's a game. Thank you, Jamil. Thank you, Dex. Guys, thank you so much. Yeah, if anybody could leave a review now, that would be absolutely amazing. Okay, I can see quite a few people just did. Somebody just did a 1-star review and wrote useless, which is a bit frustrating. But Joseph Doherty, thank you. Pro Gamer, Sean, Ibrahim, Hatsukai, Galaxy Craft came in with the £5 fish. Lady Meow Meow said hella useful. Will Kilby said loved it, boosted my confidence, would recommend. Thank you so much. Okay, I need to stop doing this random laughing. Sohab said I did 5 stars from 3 different accounts. Thank you so much. Oh, guys, I can see quite a few going on there. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, the next thing, and this is equally as important. Some of you will know earlier that I asked about sending photos of your setups. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So somebody sent me this photo the other day, and I really, really liked seeing it. Kind of because when I'm sitting here doing this, I'll show you all my setup as well at some point, but I got screens on screens, I got a camera, I got lighting or whatever, but I obviously can't see any of you guys. But it was really cool. Somebody sent me this photo. Can you see that photo? So just like the notepad and the screen. And that showed me like, guys, like I don't know. It just made it seem real for me. I don't know. It made it seem, it was just cool to see. So, my email address, thank you, Jason Abraham, for the donation. My email address, I'm going to put it now in the chat. My email address is matt@mygcsemaths.com. And if you could send a photo of your setup to there, I would absolutely love to see it. Neve says, hey, W revision setup. Yeah, how cool is that, guys? How cool is that? Like little notebook, following along with it, me on the screen. Because I think I have a little bit of this fear, right? I have this fear of like, okay, there's 270 of us watching, but like, I know a lot of people are on the bus. I know a lot of people are lying in bed watching it on their phone, especially on TikTok, especially on TikTok, you guys. I know a lot of people are watching it in that way. And I kind of think like, man, it would be cool if people were really following along, really had the paper printed out. So I loved seeing this photo because it showed me like somebody's out there putting in work while I'm doing the stream. So I just love to see it. So yeah, matt@mygcsemaths.com. If you could submit the photos there, that would be absolutely amazing. NJ, send your setup, man. I would love to see it. Oh, I need to turn the music down. Okay, matt@mygcsemaths.com. If you can email me your setups there, I would love to see it. Ooh, couple of people asking for the skincare routine. Um, I use a face wash and a moisturizer. Use a face wash and a moisturizer. I've tested and tried a bunch of different ones, to be honest, because I used to struggle quite a lot with my skin. I used to get acne and spots and stuff. So I tried a bunch of different ones. They are quite expensive, the ones I use, because I actually have a friend who is into this stuff. Um, or like I have a couple of influencer friends, so they get free stuff here and there, and they can sort me out. But the ones I use, in case any of you on budget conscious or really care about it, guys, what I will say is it's very personal. Like really, it depends on like your specific skin and how it how it feels. Or how it like if it's oily or whatever or dry or something. But I use a Aesop face wash. I think that's like yeah a Aesop face wash called like clay face wash. Um, and then okay, I can't read the comment because it's just inappropriate for me to read. But somebody put something funny in the chat. And then I use a Kiehl's moisturizer called Ultra Facial Cream. Oh, why is a green screen not working properly? Neve says £5 fish. Leroy said, did you watch the Champions League final? I couldn't watch the Champions League final, unfortunately. I've watched the highlights, though. It looked like it was just domination. Looked like domination. Thorfinn says, sir, how old are you? Okay, let me set up the Q&A now, actually. Iman Ibrahim says, OMG, I love that cream. It is expensive, but honestly, it's so good. I back in the day, I also had Accutane as well, which some people say it's good for you, bad for you, or whatever. It depends if you are struggling with your skin. If you are, then that for me was honestly life changing or game changing. So, okay, I'm going to set up the Q&A now. So if you guys want to fire any questions away, I'll be answering them. And I'm just going to set it up here. The maths is done for the evening, guys. It's 7:30 now. Hopefully, a lot of you are going to be chilling down for the evening. I just want to do a bit of a Q&A to end on a nice chill note. But maths-wise, we're done now. Maths-wise, we're done now. So if you're only interested in the math, then we're officially done for the day. We're going to be back tomorrow evening. I'm going to be doing loads of lives, so we're going to want to lock in. Okay, having a quick look. Quite a few people asking how old I am. I'm 24. How old would you have guessed, guys? Let me know in the chat. But be honest, because it's going to be biased now because I've told you my age. But how old would you have thought I was? Brainstorming Education says, I'm a YouTuber and damn, it's hard. Please stop spamming it in the chat because you're trying to fish for people to come to your channel. But mate, it is tough out here. It's tough out here. But please stop spamming the chat. Um, Haha, Kira, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, lots of people saying 21, 22, 20, 19, 20, 20, 22, 23, 21, 20, 19, 37, 21, 19, 19. Somebody said the other day, it was one of the funniest comments I've seen. Somebody commented, Bros discovered the fountain of youth. That did make me funny. Made me funny, that did make me laugh. 17, there's no way. Guys, 17's a push, come on. But yeah, 24. A lot of people asking my grades. So grades wise, I got 12 A stars in my GCSEs, 3 A stars in A level, which was maths, further maths, and econ. And then university wise, I went to the London School of Economics, and my degree was in econ. Quite a few people asking what the lives tomorrow are. We're going to be doing 2 higher papers and 1 foundation paper, and the timings are up there. The timings are up there. There's a break 6:30 till 7, so I can just relax a bit, rest my voice. Thorfinn, I researched that a lot, and it's not a risk factor with the very small dose I was having. Um, and a timing thing means it's not a risk factor. Drizzle Sweet says, how long have you been tutoring for? So I actually started tutoring. It sounds a bit weird, but to be honest, I actually started tutoring before I did my own GCSEs. So I used to tutor one of my friends before I did my own exams. So a lot of people say, do I love math? Why do I love math so much? To be honest, guys, I don't go to bed dreaming of numbers. It just comes to me naturally. It just comes to me naturally. So, and I started tutoring when I was super young, or like really early on, literally, like I said, helping my mate. And I found that I enjoyed explaining things. I enjoyed helping him. And then I kept tutoring while I was doing my A levels and then while I was at university. And I was coming out of uni and I was like, damn, I really love teaching. I really love teaching maths and helping and whatever you want to call it. So I was like, okay, let me scale this up. What's the best way to do it? It's going to be social media. So that's really how it was born. It's just kind of a natural progression. Um, Ibrahim said your music genre. This comes up a lot, guys. This comes up a lot. Honestly, every genre. I know a lot of people say that, but I genuinely mean every genre. Like I could be listening one day to Amy Winehouse, the next day to Shy FX, the next day to Burna Boy or Sharkey or someone. While I'm doing the live streams, I listen to a lot of Afro beats. But in general, guys, honestly, all genres from drum and bass to even I don't really like classical, but there's a little bit Ludwiko and Audi, very good. But yeah, kind of literally all genres. What do I listen to the most? Honestly, you can't even say. Like I could be on a car journey. 1 minute it's Amy Winehouse, the next minute it's Chase and Status. Um, Bobby Copperfield said, "Do you have any tips on getting into the London School of Economics?" So this is actually a really often asked question. So for those of you who don't know, basically after you do your A levels, some people choose to go to uni, and then at uni there's different universities. There's kind of a ranking system, and some unis have a higher and lower acceptance rate. So LSE is quite famous for having a low acceptance rate. So a lot of people ask how to get in. Honestly, um, good GCSE grades, good A levels. But the problem is, everybody going there has good GCSE grades and good A levels. So you need to do some things to separate yourself. Um, so, for example, kind of work experience and reading books and this kind of thing, which most people lie about, to be honest. Um, but yeah, that's what I would say. Also, I would say low key, there's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of luck involved. Um, there's really a lot of luck involved. There could be 2 people who apply with the exact same application, and one person gets in purely out of luck. Um, when is your birthday? I'm not gonna give that out because it's a little bit too personal. Dino says, "Where were you from? Where were you from?" I'm guessing most people in the chat know already. If you haven't heard me say where I'm from, Have a guess for me. Have a guess in the chat. Where do you think I'm from? Joanna says he has a dimple. Is that like when you smile? It's like one of those. I don't know, but I do have a weird thing with my lip where I never knew this until somebody mentioned it. I have a thing where like one side of my lip moves when I speak and the other side doesn't. If you haven't noticed now, you'll probably notice. Um, Fatima says London. Thorfinn says Europe. 2 days later says France, Sweden, Derbyshire, Germany. A lot of people asking if I'm single. I don't know why. It's not relevant for you guys, but I am single. Um, Dino Doom says Sir runs the blocks. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can say that. Uloma says London. Jaden says, "Do you play a sport, sir?" So I actually don't play any sports at the moment. Honestly, as well, I've been slacking in the gym recently. So I used to play a lot of football. I played football till I was 18 or 17. I was a goalkeeper. Um, Played in the MJPL for anybody who knows what that is, Midland Junior Premier League. And then I stopped, I think, when I was doing my A level. So I would have stopped when I was 17. And then didn't really do many sports after that. In my third year of uni, so that would have been 2022. Uh, yeah, 2022, I took up, I did a lot of yoga. I did a lot of yoga and I did a lot of boxing as well. So I started boxing. I did like 6 months of yoga and boxing, which most people think don't go together, but they do very much go together. If you get into boxing, sometimes I'm a person who, when I get into something, I really get into something. So it's quite nice having something which two things which balance each other out, right? So boxing made me very intense, and I was, in the boxing mindset. So I needed something to like balance me out. So I started doing a little bit of yoga. What football team do you support? Back when I was younger, I was a big Man United fan. I've not followed it for a long time, but I would have to say Man United. I'd have to say Man United because I got to stick with them. But I'd be lying if I said I followed it. Like now, there's going to be loads of questions about it, guys. I don't follow it at all. I'm more into the UFC and F1 actually. Chloe said, "Hey, hey, hello, Chloe." Mr. UCL said, "Sir, you know how goalkeepers are tall. Were you tall as a goalkeeper? And how tall are you?" So unfortunately, I'm not tall enough to be a goalkeeper. I'm 5'10". 5'10". Dino Doom says, "Come on, F1, my guy." McLaren's my team because I know a lot of people are going to ask that. UFC fighters, my favorite fighter is actually Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska, guy's a beast. He's not the best fighter, obviously, in the UFC, but he is a very spiritual dude, and I respect that very much. I think he handles himself very well. Okay. Let me have another quick look at the Q&A tab. Guys, we're going to round that off in just a second. Let you guys rest up ahead of tomorrow. Some people, who is Hodgland? Does anyone know who Hodgland is? Someone saying you look like Hodgland. More people asking how old I am. 24. Um, Abdullah Shari says, "Hi sir, can you drop your face wash, please? It's the Aesop. It's called mild clay wash, I think. It's quite expensive, guys. I'm quite lucky. I have friends who can hook me up with different stuff. Uh, Nobby FV says, "Can you look at setups?" Yeah, guys, let me do that actually. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it live because I can't show you, so I won't do it. But I will have a look after the session. So guys, yeah, if you haven't already, please, please, please send me a picture of your setup to matt@mygcsemaths.com. I'd really love to see them. Um, Iscayas Aguelo says, so what are good unis to get into for finance or investment banking? Loads of this is like a big thing at LSE. A lot of people going to LSE want to go into finance, investment banking. A lot of my friends from uni work in finance, investment banking. The truth is, uh, LSE, Oxford, Cambridge, UCL. LSE is the number one for finance and investment banking. Imperial is also quite a good feeder uni. You want to be getting into one of those ones. Eliza said, will the live be relevant to AQA tomorrow? Definitely, definitely. So slight differences between AQA and Excel, just in terms of how the papers look. Some tiny spec differences, but nothing major, nothing major. Neve said, can you let me know if you got my setup? I don't know if it worked. Let me have a quick look, Neve. Mail. Oh, quite a few people sent them, guys. This is sick. Yeah, I did get it, Neve. Awesome. Oh, this is going to be so cool. I can't wait to watch this. Guys, if you haven't already, please send me a photo of your setup. I think it's going to be, I'm going to really enjoy looking at those. Samuel said, are you going to reply to the emails? I won't reply to the emails because it's going to be, or maybe I will. If there's any particularly cool ones, I'll probably reply. But realistically, like all I can say and all I'll think is like, that's awesome. You know, like that's so cool. Um, Aaron said my cat photo bombed. um, JSJS says hair routine, please. My number one tip, guys, would be don't wash it very often, maybe twice a week. Obviously, if you're exercising intensely, you might have to do it more. But twice a week washing it, and I use conditioner every day. So sounds a bit weird. And then I use like a so it doesn't go frizzy because if you got curly hair, it can go frizzy. I use something called Wavy. It was actually one of the blogs from Love Island made it. It makes it infinitely less cool. But what's I think Ayal or something, the guy with the curly hair. If you look up, they're spending a bunch on adverts. So like I just typed in, products for curly hair, and this one popped up number one. Um, Show setups on the live. I would love to. The only thing is I'll only be able to show them if I get permission from the people who sent the photos. So actually, I'll say that as well, guys. If you sent me a photo already of your setup, could you send me another email just saying like if I have permission? Could you say you have permission to show the photo? Because I don't want to show people's like personal spaces, obviously, if I don't have permission. I'm guessing none of them are going to have photos of people in. So, I mean, it's not going to be too extreme, but still just out of respect. I'm not going to show them on camera. Alva 27 Matt, do you use texture powder? I actually don't use texture powder. So literally the full thing is um twice a week I wash it and use conditioner after I wash it. And then I use conditioner every day when I'm in the shower. And then on the days when I wash it, I use this wavy hair stuff like this. You just type in wavy or type in like product for curly hair on the internet. It'll come up. It'll be the first one probably. It's called wavy. I use that just so it doesn't go frizzy, and then that's basically the whole thing. Salvador says, I've sent you an email. Thank you very much. Aaron said, sir, get a modern mullet. Guys, I'll be honest, a mullet is definitely not for me. Mullet is definitely not for me. Okay, random person says, permission granted. Okay, a lot of people saying you can show it. Okay. Thank you, Goku. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Bavip. Thank you, Salvador. Thank you, Sean. People saying that I do have permission. So I'll save it for next time, guys. I won't do it tomorrow because tomorrow's intense, right? But I'll do it. I'll do it next time after that. Okay, guys. I think we're gonna call it a day there. I think we're gonna call it a day there. Quite a few people asking what time the lives tomorrow are going to be. Higher 5 till 6:30, foundation 7 till 8:30, and then higher again 8 till 9. 9 till 11. Alva 2 says good night, guys. Let's get some what emoji should we go for, team? Should we get wave emojis or should we there's something better, I think. What should we go for? What emoji should we go for? Okay, guys, let's have the sleep emoji or a bed emoji or something. Let's go for like bed, the bed, or no, not bed. Let's go for a wave, a wave. No, let's go for. I keep changing my mind. I can see a lot of lightning bolts going in there. Peace, beds. Guys, spam whatever emojis you want. Why am I trying to decide? Guys, spam the emojis. Spam the emojis. That's your way of saying goodbye to each other and goodbye to me. Adios to everybody watching on the TikTok as well. Over on the YouTube, goodbye Lincoln U. Goodbye Ashkat. Goodbye Kate, Faith, Oli MT. Goodbye Astronaut, Bobby, Mr. UCL, Sarah, obviously Oscar, Vael, Roman Arts, Abdullah, Tropical Almond, beautiful name, Vampire Sight, Isaac, Aaron Issa. Guys, fantastic work this evening. Give yourself a final pat on the back. I'm going to say until tomorrow at 5 p.m. Adios. Hasta luego. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Guys, I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.